fire. Guess what a dollar broth is? The original sun is the sun behind the sun. Our sun is a reflection, supposedly, of an original sun. The original sun being Sirius, which is now not in space. It's down here on Earth, and it's inside of you. When you see the light, you're only reflecting something that's on the inside of you. It's just like being in a dark house and you got a movie screen of the physical world and you're thinking that movie screen is reality. And while you're looking at that, you can't see the actual stars that's inside of your head. Even because you're looking in the movie and seeing the stars up in the sky, but all that is nothing but a reflection of what's on the inside of you. So, when you're dealing with the real sun is the hidden sun. Amen Ra. Amen, which means hidden. The hidden sun. Amen Ra. So the real sun is inside of you. The fake sun is out there in the sky. That's a dollar broth. That's who a dollar broth is. Remember now, a dollar broth rules the 7 planetary spheres. He don't rule his upper triad because you can get out throh binary understanding, which I'm going to explain how to kill him. And then you go to this is called the archetypal world, and this is the primordial mobile, which is Keva. But all of this goes like in a way down here because one is in the other. We'll explain that in question and answer. But the key is the sun right here, Tipperath, number 6. Is Tipperath the sun? What does it say? It says B-U-A-U-T-Y, beauty. That's a dollar broth, which is the fake sun. That sun that you see out there is the one that's keeping all of you in slavery. Because that sun lights up this holographic world and makes the light so bright that you can't see inwardly into the spiritual world. That's why you do your best shit at night. That's when you're at the peace, when you're at night. And guaranteed, the more spiritual you'll get, the more you will hate the sun to shine. I swear to God. I love it now when it's cloudy outside and it's raining. And black people used to like it too because that's the time when you would go and do sex when some good rain coming. You ever heard that before? That's, you understand? That's spiritual. Sex is the ultimate of spirituality is sex. You used to go and do the sex when the rain would come and the whole time 9 yards and stuff, or when? At night. You see what I'm saying? And I don't care how you do it in the daytime and how erotic it is, it still ain't as good as at night. That's why things are more romantic at night. Because night is our time. Because night is the most spiritual time because you don't have that sun out there distracting things. And even if you ever channel, you can channel better at night than you can in the morning, because also in the morning, when everything is up, when that sun is out, you got all your negative thoughts going on. And the best time to channel at night when things is cooled down. And that's when you're using the energy that is inside of you. You understand what I'm saying? That's why when you see the gargoyles, now this ain't vampirism. The gargoyles, they wake up at night because the melanin, which is the sun inside, is more active at night. That's right. Or they just tried to get out of the damn sun. You know, that's why when you go to Africa, what do the black men do? They sit under the tree all day. They chilling on the stump. So when we got over here, the people saying that you lazy and stuff, that ain't our energy. And so now when you see the black man around the liquor store and all this kind of thing here, the liquor is involved, but in actuality, he's only doing something which he's been programmed to do since he's been on the planet, and that's chill out. And that's why black people chill out during the daytime and stuff. And what they used to before times got so drastic that they had to do all this particular stuff. But in the daytime, when you were working and stuff, that's given to doggone Caesar's what is his, which is the devil. You see what I'm saying? And all the negative energy. A dollar broth is the one that light up this beauty. That's the fake sun there. That's why that sun don't shine outside of the earth and this atmosphere, because it's only a hologram. That's because that's the fake sun. And as long as you love that sun, it keeps you from getting the sun which is on the inside of you. So he traps you up in beauty. He traps you up in beauty, in beauty, and that's what that particular sun is, with the dollar bra and all. Now let me get a few more things and all, because I want to I got some few other. I'm just giving you a rendition of the scripture that shows that everything, if you start reading the scripture, surely it's not going to be nothing moralistic as you say. They say, well, what about living long and all? They say, well, the hell with it. They say, why? They say, give under a dollar about which is his. They say, basically, the Gnostic scriptures say, basically, hey, you worrying about the wrong thing with all this obedience. And even with the Jesus that's talking about here, they say, well, what about diet? He said, why do something that you hate to do? You know you like to eat, so eat, drink, and be merry. Now, that's what Jesus is saying in here. I'm telling you, basically, everything that the black man does and the black woman does that you call the lowly, despised group of people that's out here in the streets, other than a foreign substance that they own, is basically what you're supposed to be doing. And basically what it is it's not so much as taking responsibility in this life in so much as it is paying attention to the other realm. So you say, well, I take responsibility based on my kids. Your kids don't need but one thing, something to put in their damn stomach, and they don't need all of that. Your kids are more advanced than what you think. And as long as you put the excuse off on your children, you understand what I'm saying? That's the problem we have in all this, because we train to say that these particular children are things that in actuality need more care than we think they need. You see what I'm saying? Now let's deal with some stuff on the dollar bra. It's going to be in this book. So they talk about the fate of the fool. The fool now look at this. The fool is basically, it's the white man in here and black people who are dead, but they're not permanent fools in here. It says, a wise person relies upon truth. The Savior's answer saying, blessed are those wise people who seek truth or who have sought truth, once have found it and has relied upon it forever, has not feared those who wish to cause disturbance. So they're saying the truth. And so basically, the wise man that they're talking about, that's you. And all. You should associate with your own kind. Okay, now. You understand why the Bible got to be in here? Because the Gnostic scriptures say, hey, listen, you should associate with your own kind. And this is what Thomas, the Gospel of Thomas that they took out of the book, says to the Lord. Is it best for us, is it best for the rest of us to rest among our own? Is it, let's see, Lord, no, this. Thomas answered and said, Lord, is it best for us to rest among our own? And the Savior said, indeed, it is useful and good for you, plural. You see what I'm saying? Plural, that's what it says. It says indeed, so they're saying that you're supposed to be with your own kind. Now, there's a difference between the real scriptures and the scriptures that was carved up, which is a ward of the doggone Roman government. And only
peace to the family. It's your boy, the Hood Mystic. And I put that intro there, to bring people in, but also for people who might watch this video post live, that puts a lot of context in it, even from the things that we were discussing in the mystery school, things such as Kabbalah, things such as Gnosticism, things such as mythology. And I just want to say thank y'all for tuning in and tapping in for another edition of the weekly Astro Report. We dealing less with charts this week. We dealing more with the stars. So if you are a seeker of knowledge and really trying to tune in and tap into that inner spark, this is the conversation for you. Let me get 1 second. Charts this week. I just want to make sure that I wasn't covering up the screen. I noticed that last week I had the screen covered up. And man, I got a lot of information for y'all, but I want to do like in a nice little orderly way. So because I don't want to ramble, I want to keep it streamlined for y'all. I have a trusty, dusty little mind map for y'all, detailing some of the astrological, astronomical correspondences and observations that I have. I feel that this is a powerful conversation, but I can't force you to listen to it. I'm gonna advise that you relax into the conversation and really bring out a pen or paper. I'm gonna probably talk about things that you're not familiar with, and I'm going to really work towards getting to the point. And because of that, I'm gonna just start now. So peace to the family, and trust me, it's going to ever evolve. The conversation will continuously, it will unveil and show itself to be. So this message is for the love of my ancestors to your ancestors, and we exchange energy from ancestral realm to ancestral realm, whether you're a Pleiadian, what did we talked about yesterday or last week, Arcturian, if you're Assyrian, wherever you from in the star map, you are from somewhere in the star map, and your star map ancestors really want to let you know that they got you. So it's very important that you really start to, okay, before I get into our sponsors, if you don't take anything from this message, I want y'all to give me some ashe, give me I understand that, give me a confirmation that you will begin to feel the God within yourself. We are no longer intellectualizing it. We are no longer wishing for it. We're no longer being worthy to receive the energy of our soul, but we are going to feel our soul like energy. We are going to feel our God force energy. Before you worry, before you panic, before you get into a state of fear, I really want you to understand the vibration and the energy associated with the feeling of your godhood will sustain you and push you through the perceived negative circumstance that you might have been too absorbed into versus being absorbed into the higher self. So I'm going to get into some details of the astrologics, but I don't like to go diving deep into the astrological. I like to talk about something very down to earth, come eye to eye with everybody, and then I want us to hop on our rockets and shoot straight up into the sky and discuss mythology, cosmology, things of that nature. I get real serious. I get real educational. I like to learn new information. You won't put me in no boxes. And for that, I ain't about to entertain you. I'm not about to speak on Roman government astrology and act like it's holier than thou. If you don't tune in and tap into the sidereal Vedic side of things, hopefully you come here with an open mind and you are ready to learn new information. Because whatever got us into astrology, whatever got us into our occult practices, whatever got us into yoga, we had to open our mind to something new, even if we have to open our minds to something new within ourselves. So beautiful, beautiful time, beautiful, beautiful energy. Y'all are beautiful, beautiful people. So I'm going to need you to relax, okay? I'm going to need you to take a deep breath. I'm going to need you too tense, the energy too tense. You too worried about bullshit and you afraid of nothing. It's very important. The revelation tells us very specific things that we should be prepared for. And one of the things that we should be prepared for is the inner reflection of our soul. I know that you will tend to not feel the feeling of the God within, and you will vibrate off of the energy of the people or the animals or the plant life that doesn't resonate on their soul. So because they're not resonating on their soul, you might feel like there's a panic that's happening or a negative energy that's about to happen, but that's all conjecture and projection based upon your lack of understanding of soul work. But soul work has transgressed and progressed. See, the difference between somebody who intellectualizes soul work and speaks a good game is that they can't even articulate the very simple manufactured effort building process of feeling the soul. What I'm telling you in those 3 words, feeling the soul, is groundbreaking, transcending information. You probably the first people in the universe to bring forth to conceptualize the concept of feeling the God within. We're replacing all worry. We're replacing all anxiety. We're replacing all negative vibrations, all hatred, all bigotry, all discrimination. Hey, you name the negative energy, guess what we're replacing it with? We're filling our souls this week. We're tuning to our higher selves, okay? But before we get into this build, I want to introduce y'all or reintroduce y'all back for the first time. Hoodmystic.com. Yes, we are bike. We are bike family. You understand? And I'm trying to develop a nice Florida um a nice Florida accent. So give me time. So I got it real laid out. If you want to book a reading, if you want to figure out about the classes, if you want to figure out the books, if you want to join the mystery school, if you don't know about the YouTube page, this is a good place to start. And I suggest everybody join the Patreon family. Not only do you support this platform and the content that I produce, you also get a chance to get a free, well, not free because you being a patron, but you get access to monthly tarot cards. Last Sunday, yesterday I had a crazy ass headache, so couldn't get it done this weekend, but I will get on it next weekend. So everything in divine order, and beyond the cool stuff of getting links connected to me, we're also producing a blog. When I say we, that's me and Mama Mystic. Every day we're posting informational blogs, whether it has to do with our channel, whether it has to do with our products or just cool stuff. You know, we like to do cool stuff from time and time again. And I had a blog with over 700 posts. You know what I did with that blog, family? I deleted everything. I said I'm going to start a new blog and I'm going to SEO it and I'm going to Google ad it and I'm going to market my blog very effectively. And I'm not going to post just to post. I'm going to post high quality information that'll help you in your spiritual journey. And please, visit the blog now. It's useful information on there now, but follow the blog, add it to your RSS feed, or I'll reference the blog, because every day I'm going to be adding useful information. That's the purpose of hoodmystic.com. I had to reassess myself, get myself to a, reacclimated to blogging and just understanding shit. You know, the marketing powwow was very transformational for me. Speaking of marketing transformation, we do have another sponsor, another company known as Colombian Exchange. And if you would like me to sponsor your company, you know, I don't get 1 million and something views, but my thing is I was on Numbers with Lloyd. And it's not about having 1,000 views or 10,000 views, because when it comes to internet stuff, it is quality over quantity, family. The amount of people that tune into my channel are high quality individuals. You know the reality of life, family? There ain't a lot of high quality individuals that want to sit down and fucking tune into themselves and make it a priority. People are really tuned in and tapped in to the external. And because of that, you know, I feel like y'all are very fortunate and very tuned in and tapped into the truth. And let me just say this before we go any further. Be patient. It's going to come to you. I promise it's going to come to you, okay? Another thing that I want to show y'all, though. ColombianExchange.com. Me and my wife, yes, we do a lot. We take care of 4 children. And we got over 204 reviews from our site. I ain't going to say that nobody ever complained, because we done had some falls. We done had some misses. I haven't edited these reviews. People really just be like, I love your products. We love your store. And USDA herbs. I'm so proud of our herbs. I just want to talk my shit 1 time for the 2 time, 3 time, 4 times, because I never do, but let's talk it now. We started off with a few herbs, me and my wife, but we have expanded our herb collection. And if you haven't tuned in and tapped into our herbal collection, I suggest you do, because we add in new herbs every single week, family. this herbal collection is going to expand. I got some shit from overseas that ain't getting here to Thanksgiving, family. I got some exclusive foreign shit, and I can't wait to unveil it. But you know me, I'm very tuned in. Like at night, I'm on my mugwort. I'm on my dream tea, right? In the daytime, though, family, I'm just sharing this because you can go to your store and get this. I don't care. You don't got to actually get these herbs from me. I'm just letting you know. We the plug, right? If you need herbs. However, this damn trickery. That's what we about to start calling this shit. Trickery root, right? The ancestor said, boy, get up on this chicory root. And I've been up on it, right? Feeling great, feeling good. Mixing it with my coffee, like a little bit of coffee, majority of chicory root, or vice versa. However you want to do it. I drink the chicory root straight to start my day, regardless. Chicory root. And I'm going to tell y'all one more thing that you can get off the site, or you don't have to. Oh, yeah. Raw dandelion root for those who trying to tap into that Jupiterian energy, trying to expand. And the thing about the herbs, the thing about who people get herbs from me, just because you bought one herb for $4.44 don't mean I'm about to kiss your ass. At the end of the day, I gotta be up on this shit consistently. The effects of ashwagandha and chicory root is not a one-time thing. I'll give it to you raw like this. Chicory root can cure cancer. That's some crazy ass shit. I ain't gonna say if you take chicory root, you will cure your cancer. But I will say there are studies that say that it has cured cancer. So my thing is, tune in and tap into the herbal world. My download last night was that, man, if people would just take their herbs regularly, drink their teas regularly, they'd have way less problems than they have in today. And they said, Kyrie, you the witness of that. So we ain't even got a cap and talk about that. But I'd be remiss if I wouldn't to say that our number one product on our site is my wife's journal womb. I don't have a womb, but Lordy Lord, all the people that I know that have a womb, all, like my mom, my sister, every woman that I know, I feel like y'all should journal, first of all. Why should y'all journal? Because y'all thinking, y'all got minds. And like I said, y'all thoughts and ideas, y'all play volleyball with y'all thoughts and ideas all the time. And it's the same ball, same thought, same idea, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The reality is, if you start to journal regularly, journal and drink a tea at the same time, family. What's up? That's not a bad deal. To promise me that you'll consistently journal, promise me that you'll consistently drink your tea. I'm not saying buy from me. You can get a fucking notebook and a pen. You can go to the grocery store and get some goddamn herbs. This is like sponsoring my site and hoping that you buy some shit from me. But at the end of the day, fuck my site, fuck me. Make sure that you journal your ass, right? Journal your ass and drink your damn tea. Don't do it for a couple of the days. Y'all niggas kill me with that. Here and there with y'all damn tea. The herbs, the ancestors, which is the planetary understanding. Herbal alchemy coming soon. Give me a second. Working on it. Beautiful, detailed little magazine I'm putting together. Planets and herbs and all of that. Explaining the download in reference to the real magic is at night when the planetary influences shine down on the plants. Because then when you wake up, it's the intelligence of the planetary influences, the star systems and constellations that even encapsulate that blooming or illumination. That's why flowers is connected to Venus, and Venus is the planet of illumination. Back to Venus and the divine feminine. My wife put together the most dopest journal ever for women put together, hands down. The reality, I tell my wife this every single day. We just got to get people caught on to what you put down. Don't be weary. Don't feel like nothing. just give it a second. And what I mean by give it a second, that's what this little promo is for. I want y'all to just listen to me one time. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm going to just read it out for you. Because think about the ping pong. We putting out another article today about the diet and the menstruation system. Because a lot of times once you have your menstruation, you start eating crazy. And when you start eating crazy, the menstruation is a little harder, a little heavier. So what we're trying to put together, like I said, the blog is blogs with value. A proper nutritional diet for that menstruation. So you can have an easier, lighter period. But at the same time, you can be very intentional with that magical energy that's taking place. Because that's a lot of hormones and a lot of power that's going in place in your body thinking, okay, we about to make a baby. Where if you don't make a baby, you can still transmute and do alchemy with that energy. You can think your way up into some shit. But the plans and the blueprinting is too complex. You're going to need to start to journal. You're going to need to start to identify your intentions, identify your action plan, and start moving into those intentions every day. Because y'all spending too much time worrying. Why you worrying? Because you're not journaling and you're not drinking your tea. Okay? And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. Womb is a guided journal for women to assist them in the highest levels of manifestation. That's on Mary Had a Little Lamb. Womb helps you journal in 28-day cycles from menstruation to ovulation and back to menstruation again. On Mary and Her Little Lamb. Understand your hormones, your cycle, and how to tap into your personal. That's on Mary and Her Little Lamb. Because you got your own schedule. That's what this book is trying to get you into. Don't follow nobody else's schedule but your own. Because when your hormones peak, i.e. ovulation, you're going to have to know what to do when to do it. If I'm saying, hey, I'm going left, but your hormones tell you to go right, you should not follow my ass. Because your hormones is telling you right. No pun intended. So, congratulations. You made it through the promotional side of this video. Because I really do this shit for real. I do this shit in real life. Full-time job. You must know that. Because you might think that I'm out here playing with this information. You might think that I'm a rich ass nigga. But actually doing this spiritual work, it takes a lot out of you. But at the end of the day, if you don't get no value from it, a couple thumbs down and maybe put it in the comments. I get no value from this content. You need to hang it up and never do YouTube videos again. I probably won't listen to your ass, but if enough people tell me that, I'll fucking get back in the truck. But 10 times out of 10 people act like they seen Jesus in the flesh once they see me in person and things of that nature. I watch your videos all the time, but you don't like, comment, share. Is you subscribed? Matter of fact, this is YouTube. Like this damn video. Share this video. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, but due to the algorithms, my channels do not get promoted to people who are outside of my share zone or subscriber zone, which is okay because like I said, it is the quality over quantity and we'll build this actual spiritual thing right and exact, okay? So let me do, like I said, before I get into the astrology, which this connects to the astrology, I want to do a breakdown of the Eternals, the best movie that I saw this year. I feel like this movie was really killing shit as far as like giving information out. Everything that we've been doing as far as developing a spiritual dialogue and understanding mythology, understanding the spiritual shit, it really tuned in and tapped in. So what I'm going to do is narrate and create a new genre in the realm of astrology. Now, it may have been created before, but I've never heard it before. It's just something that I was creating when I was typing in the title, and it's called Gnostic Astrology. Because the movie Eternals was a very Gnostic movie. Okay? Extremely Gnostic, and I can, like I was telling my wife, I could easily say, you know what? Eternals was a Gnostic movie and it had Gnostic themes. And niggas will look at me and say, Hood Mystic said Eternals is Gnostic, take it 50. Take it 50 right, 50 wrong, whatever. Some people believe me off face value. Some people say, yeah, right, I don't believe you at all. But if I bring about different details and different understandings about the movie, then one would say, yeah, that's extremely, incredibly Gnostic. There's no denial. And so this is what we'll continue to do throughout this conversation. This is not going to be a conversation where I'm doing much talking. This probably be a conversation where I do much reading. I would advise if there's information that appears on your screen that you want to capture, pause the video, screenshot it. That's the purpose of the actual setup and layout and the presenting of information. I apologize on certain slides. It's going to be hard to capture everything, but towards the end of this content, I kind of got it in my brain to kind of box it and square things up so it'll be easier to screenshot. Now, I made no background for me, so it'll be more information that you'll be able to see. But if for some reason you ain't able to see it, DM me, send me a message. Hood, that slide that you had about Gnosticism, I need that information. I'll just email it to you or text it to you because I'm a cool ass person at the end of the day, right? So let's just break down Tiamat, Ereshkigal. This is Eternals Part 2. If you haven't seen Part 1, that was the last video that I did. Hella underrated as far as I'm concerned, but I digress because who am I to judge my own videos and things of that nature? That's hella weird. So, some correspondences as I connected myself to them. Well, first of all, the reason that I even saw the movie is because my homeboy on Facebook was like, yo, they cloned you in the guy, they cloned me in the movie Eternals. So I'll be like, okay, I know that it's a movie about me, about them cloning me, that's about to come out on Netflix. And that dude didn't know that. Like, I know that my DNA was cloned. Real quick, do y'all want to hear the story, like the conspiracy theory of my DNA being cloned? Give me a yes or no real quick, and we'll continue this conversation, or we'll just dive into this conversation. If y'all don't want to hear about the conspiracy theory about how they cloned my DNA and created Drake and LeBron James and all that, then we'll stop. Yes or no? All right. So, let's just do this, man. I'm going to just give y'all a couple of correspondences in my life. And then I'm going to explain how none of this makes sense. I'm going to just explain this. So, once again, this is all conjecture. This is all conspiracy theory. None of this might be true or may be true. But first off, I was born in Boston, Massachusetts, and then I moved to Akron, Ohio. Weird place to move to. Weird ass place to move to. I never heard about Akron, Ohio ever in my life. Like, if I didn't live there, I would have never heard about it, right? But I would go to this doctor named Margot Prague. And I feel like this is a huge conspiracy. So when I say a huge conspiracy, I mean everybody is in on it, except me. But this is just my understanding. And trust me that this could mean that I'm actually crazy as hell to be thinking this. That's the disclaimer, right? Because obviously I'm not, well, that could be argued. Let's just stop there. Anyways, because we're here now. So I go to this childhood doctor, but I'm always going to the doctor for whatever reason. Maybe it's for vaccines. And then, like, when I would, like, school, I was horrible at school. And so back then, they sent you to your doctor, like your health doctor, and your mom would say, well, the teacher say he won't sit down, he this, he that, he always talking. So this doctor gave me Ritalin, subscribed me Ritalin. But she will always do these tests. And like, I remember one time she did this test and it's like I couldn't walk on my left side. Now, mind you, it's a lot of weird shit that's happening in my life as far as like my mom in this church. But like I said, I feel like the whole conspiracy, nobody is subject to not being a part of the specific conspiracy, especially like the person that I see who I am today. Imagine if people did astrology, sidereal astrology, and knew based upon time, day, everything, more about you than you knew about yourself. And so your whole life would be generally a experiment. Now, does the CIA monitor people? I'm just wondering. Does the CIA monitor citizens? The intelligence apparatus collects, analyzes, and stores information about millions of, if not all, American citizens, most of whom have not been accused of any wrongdoing. Every state and local law enforcement agency is to feed information to federal authorities to support the work of the FBI. One more thing that's popping up in my mind is fear of a black messiah real? These are just questions that I'm having about just this conspiracy theory that has always been in my mind. I don't know if y'all ever seen Fear, this movie right here, Judas and the Black Messiah. Oh, it's called Judas and the Black Messiah. Okay. So yeah. Anyways, this doctor, Margot Prade, a weird energy from her always. And then what had happened was, at a certain point, she ended up getting murdered. I don't know how weird that is for a doctor to be murdered, to be shot in her office. But if you was to like look at some shit, right? Another thing, the sun is in Libra. The Accountant movie. I just want to show how like movies you can be like a regular working person, right? But then you could get into some gangster shit. And you'd be like, damn, how did that happen to that person? Cause really, once the CIA is done with you, they done with you. Because certain information can't be able to get back to that actual person. Now, this is all conjecture because I ain't never been on the side of the CIA. Or have I? I don't know. Maybe I'm American Ultra type energy. I just be watching shit and be tuned into shit like that where I'm be like, man, the FBI, the CIA, all of these institutions, they exist, and the energy that have been showing up is the accountant. Now, I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Out of all the professions in the world, what do y'all think my mom do for a living? I'll put that in the chat. What do y'all think my mom do for a living? Cause it'd be weird when shit get gangster all of a sudden, and it's like, damn, that was my doctor. She got took out like that. Then I'm gonna get into some other weird shit. Nurse, teacher. No, she was an accountant. She was an accountant. I wish I could get the storyline. Christian Wolf. So Christian is another word for Christ, Messiah, right? Is y'all with me? Christ, Christian, Messiah. Wolf, that's another concept that we could discuss. We could do, because my birth name is Kyrie, and we can do Kyrie Wolf. And in this story called Valdemar, Kyrie are popularly considered to be one of the 5 non-human sentient races created by Eartho. But in Eartho's time, it was believed that Basically, Kyrie is a wolf in this actual mythos called Valdemar, or the Tales of Valdemar. So, my grandma used to call me Black Jesus when I was born. She literally called, oh, Black Jesus. Okay. I don't know why she did that. And if I'm lying, I'll get struck down by lightning right now. But a lot of coincidences in reference to people cloning you and you not knowing that you clone. So Christian Wolf is a math savant with more affinity for numbers than people. Behind the cover of a small town CPA, he works as a freelance accountant for some of the world's most dangerous criminal organizations, so forth and so on. Meaning that what you see on the front is never what's happening on the back. And the people in your life, from your teachers, from your doctor, from your mama, okay? You don't know what happened between the time you was born and the time you was 5 years old. You might say you do, but you cap. So when I start talking about this show, you're going to have the illusion that you know who you are, right? That's an illusion, right? But the reality is that you don't know who you are. So the tagline for the movie is calculate your choices, and the accountant, trust me, will come up a little later. So where were we at? Kyrie means wolf. All right. So Ed Davis Community Center, Akron, Ohio. Just want to show y'all a little map because ain't no cap in my rap. If you look at Ed Davis Community Center, if you look directly down, like you see that arrow, I don't know if y'all can see it, maybe y'all can see it. Straight down from Ed Davis Community Center is Euclid Avenue. When me and my mom moved to Akron, Ohio, we moved to 640 Euclid Avenue. So if you see 640 Euclid Avenue, it ain't there no more. But you walk straight across and you get to Ed Davis Community Center. Euclid, okay, Easter Ave, East Ave, right? Moon Street, right? But across is Ed Davis. Now, LeBron James' teammate is Anthony Davis. Maybe that's a connection, maybe that's not. But they call him AD. All vowels are interchangeable. So you could have AD or Ed Davis connection to who LeBron James is. What's significant about the Ed Davis Community Center? I don't know. Let's just see if it happens. If you say Ed Davis Community Center and then Drew Joyce. Mind you, growing up, anybody in Akron to tell you this. LeBron James came out of nowhere. Period. And I'll tell you the first basketball team he played on, because guess who was at the church? Like the first time people ever heard of LeBron James. So, let's go. Ed Davis. This shit's aggravating me. Hold on. They really gonna try to make me sign up for this? Alright, I'll sign up just because I'm trying to show people something. But generally, I wouldn't sign up. Just All right. Davis. But places that come on, fam. But the place Google be hating. But the places that struck the strongest chords were the hoop shrines like the Summit Lake Community Center, where James played as an 8-year-old. The Ed Davis Community Center, home court of Little Drew's team, then his arch rivals. This right here, family. Did we just see Ed Davis Community Center? But I'm going to tell you where it gets a little deeper at. I'm going to tell you where it gets a little deeper at. Guess who was the starting forward? If I'm lying, please strike me down. Guess who was the starting forward on the team? I used to walk, because trust me, I live right there. I literally would just walk straight from my house through the field to Ed Davis. So I was always there, and my mom, like, because this got everything that I got to explain this shit in full detail. I got to kind of take y'all there, because if I don't take y'all there, yeah, it's just me talking. So basically, Ed Davis Community Center, my house right here. I'm walking here every single day. Guess who I get friends with? Drew Joyce. But it's weird though, right? Because my mom is going to church at, what's the name of that church? See, but it ain't where it's at. I'm going to show y'all. We can just drive there. Just take East Ave all the way down. You take East Ave to Vernon. It was Thornton back in the day. But Antioch Baptist Church, that was the first church that we went to. That's my grandmama church. But my mom didn't like that church because once Pastor Butts got into some weird shit, we stopped going there. Then we started going. You can take Thornton. I ain't been to Akron in a while, so trying to see if I can remember. And this is where I'm at. I'm at South Hawkins and Diagonal. Then I want to go right here to the house of the Lord. Okay? Now, house of the Lord is a fucking mega church, right? Non-denominational church. But when we started going, it was right here on South Hawkins and Redbush. Over time, it started to grow and expand, right? And it started to like really get big. But one of the ministers was Drew Joyce. And Drew Joyce went to the church, met my mom, said, hey, I'm starting this basketball team at Ed Davis. I think your son would be great. That's how I ended up being on LeBron James' arch rival team as a youngster. I sucked. I was never good at sports, but that's another thing. So let's look at something. Arlington Church of God. I had a friend named Eric Miller. And his family, I used to spend the night over Eric Miller. Well, I used to spend the night over Eric Miller's house all the time. And I used to spend the night over Maverick Carter's house all the time. Maverick Carter lived on the north side, if I'm not mistaken. So Maverick Carter, north side of Ohio. I'm pretty sure it's the north side. I just can't think of the street. But they ain't going to say. But actually, I know that to be a fact. Anyways, House of the Lord, Drew Joyce basketball team, Arlington Church of God. Oh, LeBron James. This is where LeBron James first started playing basketball at. And like this is where he started getting a name for himself. They started winning championships and shit like that. Shit was crazy ever since then. But he was always sheltered. And he was always kind of neutered. And it was kind of weird that I had this particular trajectory where I'm just seeing this dude. And I'm always where this dude is at. But not really where this dude is at. Like, my people And Maverick Carter's people, like our families, are cool. Like super cool, like best friend type cool. Because that's kind of like Akron, where, I don't know, your grandmother, your grandmother, your grandfather, they have like this close knit relationship. And then once we grow up, we go our own separate ways. So I can't attest to being friends with them or knowing them. But at the same time, it's super duper weird. The reason that I say the dude is a clone is because this thing right here. They clone Tyrone. So, and this is going to lead us right into the other movie where I say that they cloned me at. So, what is they cloned Tyrone about? Mind you that my grandmother, so back to 640 Euclid where I grew up, that grandmother, Naomi, she never called me Kyrie. She specifically called me Tyree forever. Like, that was what she called me. She ain't call me Kyrie. She say, Tyree. I could just hear her clear as day just calling me Tyree. So, Tyree, Tyrone, Tyre, I don't care. Maybe Tyre, the one, Tyre, I don't know, whatever. They Cloned Tyrone is an upcoming American science fiction comedy film directed by Jewel Taylor, and his feature film directorial debut is from screenplay, blah, blah, blah. It stars John Boyega and Jamie Foxx. And also my man Brian Tyree. Now, interesting story. Now, he gonna be mad that I'm saying this. I ain't gonna say his name or nothing like that. But it's the actual fact, to the fact that I'm telling y'all this, meaning that I could lose a friendship. But I'm just trying to prove a point to y'all. I did a reading for somebody. Not that like did a reading for somebody. Like, I've done consistent readings. He was on the Patreon family, which y'all should join the Patreon family right now, because I feel like if you join the Patreon family, you special. That's just a plug. Anyways, he was like played a pivotal role in creating this movie. And we've done readings month after month after month. I read him. I read his homeboys. Him and his homeboys is special. Period. It's not my reading, but like, I'm not taking nothing from them. Like, this movie might not have nothing to do with me. It might have an aspect, like I might have a little sprinkle, something to do with this movie, is all I'm saying. But the reason that I say all of this shit is weird to me, because it's about cloning. And I know for a fact that that lady was taking DNA from me and doing tests on me and observing me because of my behavior in school. Or my supposed behavior. Right? I was always at the doctor. Always. Like, no cap. For some reason. Mental health, physical health, all types of shit growing up. So let's look. My grandma called me Tyree. That's no cap in my rap. In February 2019, Brian Tyree. Why can't this nigga name be Brian Henry? Maybe the Tyree is, I don't know. It just throws me off. Joined the cast of the film with Jewel Taylor, set to make his feature film directorial debut from a screenplay that he wrote. Brian Tyree wrote the screenplay. Okay? So imagine that the lead character replaced Tyree. The lead character's name that replaced Tyree was named John. Because he wrote it, said he was going to star in it, but said, I'm too busy doing another movie called The Eternals and shooting Atlanta or Atlantis. Can't keep up nowadays. Who has a son named John? Is it Tyree or Kyrie has a son named John? Jamie. I would say Jesse James or Jamie Foxx, whatever. And it's about cloning. and it's going to come out sometime, I hope later in this year. I can't wait to see it. But let's talk about my man Brian Tyree, because we about to get into the Eternals. But we're going on consciousness, on spirituality. Okay. Brian Tyree Henry is in the movie Eternals. His name is Phastos. Phastos, this is going to be quick. Phastos Hephaestus. Phastos, being weaponsmith, Phastos was mistaken for the Olympian god Hephaestus. Okay. Hephaestus, Vulcan. Hephaestus, Vulcan. So Hephaestus is the Greek word for the Roman word Vulcan, which is the god of fire, blacksmiths, stonemasons, technology, and volcanoes. Interestingly, he is one of the very few gods who isn't a hottie. I'm not sexy. I'm not Vulcan. Vulcan is Vulcan. Hephaestus is Hephaestus. He's been called all sorts of things: short, misshapen, ugly, lame. Woo! I think I can relate to that, but let's keep going. What is Vulcan's day? August 23rd. The date of Vulcan's holiday is August 23rd. I wonder, can you Google my birthday? Kyrie Anthony's birthday. I don't know if you can Google that. Probably not. How vain of me. Anyways, my birthday is August 23rd. So anyway, I don't know. All of that is coincidental. Means absolutely nothing. And let's get into the movie with Phastos in it. So that was a little detour. And in order for this conversation to be robust, y'all gonna have to give me about 2 to 3 minutes to take care of something. And I'm gonna leave y'all with Bobby Hemmett for a couple minutes, and I'll be right back.
Keep talking about fire here. Fire. Guess what a dollar broth is? The original sun is the sun behind the sun. Our sun is a reflection, supposedly, of an original sun. The original sun being Sirius, which is now not in space, is down here on Earth and is inside of you. That's where Sirius is. Heaven realm is within. That means it is inside of you. And when you look out there, and if you so happen to find that body star in the constellation, you're only reflecting something that is inside your brain. That's the way it is. Ain't nothing out there in the heavens. That's all a hologram. But when you see the light, you're only reflecting something that's on the inside of you. It's just like being in a dark house and you got a movie screen of the physical world and you're thinking that movie screen is reality. And while you're looking at that, you can't see the actual stars that's inside of your head. Even because you're looking in the movie and seeing the stars up in the sky. But all that is nothing but a reflection of what's on the inside of you. So, when you're dealing with the real sun is the hidden sun. Amen Ra. Amen, which means hidden. The hidden sun. Amen Ra. So the real sun is inside of you. The fake sun is out there in the sky. That's a dollar broth. That's who a dollar broth is. Remember now, a dollar broth rules the 7 planetary spheres. He don't rule his upper triad because you can get out through binary understanding, which I'm going to explain how to kill him. And then you go to this is called the archetypal world, and this is the primordial mobile, which is Keva. But all of this goes like in a way down here because one is in the other. We'll explain that in question and answer. But the key is the sun right here, Tipperath, number 6. Is Tipperath the sun? What does it say? It says B-U-A-U-T-Y, beauty. That's a dollar broth, which is the fake sun. That sun that you see out there is the one that's keeping all of you
off. Peace. Just had to get my together. All right, so Celestials into existence. This is the actual conflict of the new movie, The Eternals, learning that they must defy Arisham's wishes to stop the birth of Tiamat, a new celestial whose emergence would destroy Earth entirely. It will come as no surprise that the Eternals are eventually able to stop Tiamat from being quote-unquote born, thanks to some crafty teamwork. The such and such. This is where so part of people leave and go outer space. The other people stay on Earth, meaning that some people are going to transition to do work in the astral. Some of us are going to stay here. So let's talk about this from an esoteric space. And if you've never seen the movie, that's okay, because it's going to lead into our conversation in reference to the astrology. So let's just give it a second and let us do a little build up. So who is Arisham in the Eternals? This is the leader of the 4 celestial hosts, or the 4 horsemen. Okay. So here we go. Arisham, that's the name that they going for the big bad boss man in the movie. Well, I'm not going to take it at face value. I'm going to do a little digging. I'm imagining that they broke Ari and Shem up. So what is Shem? Shem, at the metaphysical level, means the spiritual in man. So when you watch the movie, when they get in contact with this deity specifically, they're going within themselves, right? But you have something within yourself. You have the spiritual within you. This is the Holy Ghost. This is going to church. This is, upright, righteous. How you doing, sir? These things looking good. Another aspect that we want to look at in relation to Shem, Shem. Ari is the common masculine given name in Hebrew. It means lion. So Shem means the lion spiritual entity within man, who is big dog boss hog. We ain't gonna stop there. When you say a lion, I immediately knew you was talking about Yaldabaoth or Yahweh or the God of the Bible according to Gnostic scriptures. So let's get into what Gnostic scriptures say. If you can't read it, I'll read it. Yaldabaoth is frequently called the lion-faced, and it is said to have the body of a serpent. The demiurge is also described as having a fiery nature. Applying the word Moses, y'all saying y'all can't hear, but I feel like y'all can hear. So, I see the the thing going up and down. So I'm gonna just imagine that people can hear. Some people say they can't hear. I was not talking for a moment, but I started talking again. So, anyways, described as having a fiery nature applied to the words of Moses, the Lord our God is a burning and consuming fire. Basically saying within your Bible, it is saying that God is a fire God. So in the Pistis Sophia, Yaldabaoth has already sunk from his highest states and resides in chaos, meaning basically creation, whereas 49 demons tortures wicked souls, and boiling rivers of pitch with other punishments. He is an Archon with the face of a lion, half flame and half darkness. Because as Bobby Hemmett stated, if you are specifically tuned in to your fire, your flame, you also in darkness. Because flame can't be utilized. Like if you lit a fire in the daytime, it would be worthless unless you heating something up. You wouldn't light a fire to see in the daytime. You only light a fire in the darkness. So part of the need for fire is the need because you're in darkness. This is why a lot of people need God. But anyways, a lion-faced deity found on a Gnostic gem. Okay, people say they can hear. No, the Eternals is not streaming. You got to get your ass up out the crib and go to a damn movie theater to watch this joint. Or if you got the hook up on the You know them Amazon shits that you could use to get all the movies. Maybe you got that hook up, but I tried to stream it. I couldn't stream it, so I had to go get the movie theater, but it was cool. I got a Long Island iced tea. It was cool. So once again, let's establish something before we go further. The main bad guys in the movie Eternals are Tiamat and Erishim. Erishim is Yaldabaoth, and Tiamat is Pistis Sophia. Well, let's get into the mythology. If you watch the movie Eternals, it's a very large part of the movie where they're specifically in Babylon. The Eternals are in Babylon. So, of course, they're going to incorporate Babylonian mythology within the movie. But they'll explain the Babylonian mythology. Oh, he got a crispy version on his laptop, so y'all might need to get with Kanye. Kanye, what's up, Kanye? Kanye Westbrook, he perping. That's the real Kanye West, acting like he said Kanye Westbrook. Man, you tuned in and tapped in too hard, man. Damn. If ain't nobody talked about them two people more than anybody this weekend, Kanye West and Russell Westbrook. Them is the most two talked about people, period. Anyways. A Babylonian creation tale describes how Marduk crafted an orderly universe. This is specifically talking about astrology and y'all Western astrologers. How all of your Western astrologers is on bullshit. Because Marduk crafted an orderly universe. And we going to hammer home this part. We just getting started. We just getting warmed up. I hope you comfortable and relax. Because just because you got shit to do don't mean I got shit to do. I'm here for the long haul on this one, baby. Anyways. Marduk crafted an orderly universe as well as human beings following a battle which he defeated the goddess Tiamat. So Marduk would be another version of Erishim, but they using different names in different mythologies. But at the same time, Tiamat is the goddess that gets defeated at the end of the fucking Eternals. Where we looking at that movie like, yes, they defeated Tiamat. No, they defeated the whole goddess. They defeated the whole Sophia energy. Period. That movie was a tragedy. You should have left that movie crying if you understood the mythology. The story tells how Tiamat, the saltwater goddess, and her mate Apsu, the freshwater god, coupled to produce what would become several generations of younger gods. The younger gods began to disrupt the tranquility of their elder, so Apsu plotted to kill them. However, Tiamat and Apsu's clever descendant Ea killed Apsu first and took his place. Tiamat then became angry and waged war against the other gods, who asked Ea's son Marduk to be their champion. The other gods offered to submit to Marduk's rule as king if he could defeat Tiamat. Tiamat assembled an army of dragons and monsters led by the god Kingu, but Marduk overcame these fearsome forces. He commanded the wind to enter Tiamat's mouth and puff up her body. He then killed her with the arrow to split her into two halves. With one half, he created the heavens, which is astrology, and the other, he created earth, which is a reflection or outer reflection or self-reflection between astrology and your ass, period. Marduk also created the Euphrates and Tigris rivers, which would be the Ohio River and the Mississippi River if we talking about America. Rain clouds and mountains. He created, this is why the Ohio River is sacred. This is why the Mississippi is sacred. This is why rain is sacred. The rain clouds, the darkness is sacred. This is why mountains is sacred. Stone Mountain, fucking Sasha Mountain or whatever the case may be in LA. The Appalachians, because all of these energies, all of these portals, all of these vortexes, Sedona, Arizona, these represent Tiamat's body. If you in America. He set the cosmos working in an orderly fashion. This is where you got Aries being 30 degrees, Taurus being 30 degrees, Gemini being 30 degrees, Cancer being 30 degrees, when the reality is that they're not. They're different sizes. Like black people, right? There's different types of black people. You got to know your black people. You can't just be kicking it with any type of black person because you will get into some crazy ass shit. As black people, we know this. What if we said we just gonna deal with every black person? No way in your rational mind would you think that you about to deal with every black person, because then you gotta have discernment out here in these streets. Order prevents discernment because everything is right and exact within order. Anyways, ordered the gods to build a city, Babylon. Okay, so what is this esoterically saying within the movie? It's saying that all you care about is what's happening in your environment, and you have no connection to your inner world. And even deeper, what did Ereshkigal want them to do? Did Ereshkigal want them to let Tiamat rise? No, because he could have easily stopped them, but he wanted them to prevent the rise of Tiamat, because Tiamat would have destroyed him, because he's created it literally says in the movie that they create suns and planets and galaxies off of killing the energy that rises up. So essentially, where we look at the energy that's happening around us as chaos, we get negative vibrations and frequencies to tune into, when in reality, that's an illusionary atmosphere that they've created so you can think these things. The reality is that you can do more magic when you tune into yourself, because within yourself is Ereshkigal and Sophia and Jesus. So, give me a moment. Interesting enough, like I said, one of the major set pieces in the movie. Let me see if them bars going. Okay. Gotta check them bars. One of the major set pieces in the movie is Babylon. So once again, understanding Babylonian mythology, you may not think is important, but the energies and entities that's ruling your ass sure do think it is. They sure do think it's a serious thing. Moving on. Marduk replaced his father, Enki, in the pantheon. Marduk dismembered Tiamat in the heavens, and from Tiamat's body, Marduk formed the earth. The change in spirituality coincides with the Aryan invasions of the Levant. From that time onwards, civilization was essentially materialistic, pragmatic, and patriarchal. So what was it the millions and billion years before this? Because this is the birth of your Bible. This is the birth of everything that we know in life today, is when Marduk replaced his father and killed Tiamat and dismembered her in the heavens. And then once he dismembered her in the heavens by giving you false mythologies, he then gave you a false perception of the equinoxes. In your mind, it's people, smart people. Now, this is how I equate it. This is the Black Messiah. This is like when I tell people you shouldn't deal with Western astrology, especially if you are trying to expand and learn. You want to naturally grow. You should deal with sidereal. Would be the same as I'm saying the fucking CIA. If I'm fucking Fred Hampton and me telling black people, y'all should protect me because the CIA is watching me. Because I'm doing the right thing. I'm saying the right shit. And I'm not going with their system. But motherfuckers will feel like, well, if you die, I'm going to still have to take care of myself. So fuck everything that you saying. And you see what happened to goddamn Fred Hampton. When I speak on sidereal astrology, I know for a fact y'all going to get mad. And y'all not going to understand. And y'all ain't going to like it. Especially if you're an astrologer. Especially if you're a spiritualist. Because you get off on lying to the people. The whole energy of it is to make you feel good. But to feel good is to lie. To tell the truth is very painful. Think about that. Imagine if you told your girlfriend right now the truth of everything that was going on inside of you. Imagine if you told your husband the truth of what was going on beside you. That wouldn't be a healthy, happy-go-lucky conversation. That would be heart-wrenching, heartbreaking. Motherfuckers that have to come to some realities and realizations about some shit if you was to stand on the truth. But imagine you telling your partner everything that they need to hear, when they need to hear it, how they need to hear it. Then they're going to be like, I love the fuck out this dude. I love you, babe. You're the best person in the world. Understand, good energy is lying energy. Not to say that being truthful is bad, but understand being truthful is beyond a feeling or an emotion. We're just dealing with what is and what isn't. So I say that all to say, if you can't address sidereal astrology as an advancement, as a right and exactitude of astrology, you under CIA and FBI programming. Because the one thing that they don't want people as a whole to tap into, I know this to be a fact. I know this to be a fact. Whoop, whoop. Okay. Just seeing. I know this to be a fact, man. They don't want you to get into sidereal astrology. They want you to get into the Western astrology and stick with the Western astrology the same way as if I want you to find my house and I live on 640 Euclid and I told you to find my house is at 620 Euclid and you showed up every day to 620 Euclid, you would never find my house. It don't matter how good you look, how many goddamn views you got, how much detail you have. You can have 620 goddamn on the second floor in the third corner under the bed, and you went to that address, you would never find me. And you would read book after book on how to find me. Imagine if all you had to do is get the right address to find me. You would just knock on my door and I would have come to the door. You say, well, I came to your house every single day for the past 20 years, meaning I've been studying Western astrology for 20 years. And you meaning that all I got to do is tune in and tap into my sidereal chart to get actual alignment, and it's going to serve and satisfy me in a way that Western astrology could never? Yes. You mean that astrology isn't difficult to comprehend? It's only when you adjust it 20 degrees ahead of time is where it gets difficult and tricky, and it might resonate with me, meaning like I hear your voice. Like I know you live on the street, Kyrie, but every time I go to 620 Euclid, you're not there. And I've read books. And I got a whole bunch of people to join my YouTube page and to subscribe. And we talk about new moons in Scorpio. Even though the new moon is in Libra, is down the street. That's very important. Especially if you're trying to find something. Especially if you're trying to tune in and tap into the goddess. Sidereal astrology is important. Anyways. So we're taking the Babylon mythology and then we're transgressing into the Gnostic mythology and show the parallels between Sophia, Yaldabaoth, and Marduk and Tiamat. Sophia will cast, because the overall point is to say that The Eternals is a Gnostic movie. Sophia will cast them down into the abyss. The Archons will be obliterated because, hold on, let me reverse. Sophia is depicted as the ultimate destroyer of this material universe. So when they were talking about the emergence, they were talking about us tuning into our souls and destroying the material universe, because we would have to be not in the material universe, but in the specific internal universe, the inner world, not the hijack meta where it's giving you a false inner experience, but the real meta, which is the inner experience that you don't need no device for, no Mark Zuckerberg, no Facebook, no Instagram, no Oculus, nothing to tune into. Sophia is the goddess, is feminine energy, is the non-physical realm. That's why it's very important for you to tune into a specific frequency that I like to call drive. What is drive, you might ask? I'll be glad to tell you. Drive is your dreams, journal your dreams, create your rituals, tune into your imagination, see your vision, restore your energy. Because this is the inner world. This is what you need to tune in and tap into so you can tap into your inner God, your inner Ereshim, your inner Yahweh, your inner Jesus, your inner Mary, your inner goddess. These are non-physical concepts that bring you intrinsic value. And when you talk about the world that we're coming into, it's all about your intrinsic value, not your extrinsic value, because what we'll notice is that the world extrinsically, materially, is being destroyed. But that doesn't mean that your inner world is being destroyed. That's what human beings and Americans forget about this actual paradigm. Yes, the material world is breaking down, but what is coming online is the inner world. And if you know not of this, you will be so worried about what you're losing, when actually Sophia is depicted as the ultimate destroyer of the material universe. What am I talking about? Your perceived money problems that you can't stop thinking about. That's the problem. You thinking about your money. That's your problem when you need to be thinking about your goddamn soul. That's the actual choice that you move into. So she, Sophia, will cast them down into the abyss, talking about the Archons. The Archons, or Ereshim, or the false god, will be obliterated because of their wickedness, for they will come to be like volcanoes. Now, what is the ending scenario in Eternals? It's a volcano. What's another movie that you need to tune in and tap into? Without a shadow of a doubt, Joe and the volcano. Joe versus the volcano. If you haven't seen this movie, you're missing out. Now you can stream this joint to get prepared for the goddamn Eternal. So Joe versus the volcano with Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. Best movie I ever saw in my whole entire life. Period. Anyways. Just tying in more of the God of Fire and Hephaestus and Ereshim and the Lion God, and birthday being conjunct the fixed star Regulus, and Regulus is the heart of the lion, and that's my birthday, and this is all coincidental, and I'm just tweaking because spirits don't reincarnate from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime to lifetime and keep that same spiritual DNA from the previous lifetimes. So if I was great in the previous lifetime, that means I'll be great in this lifetime. That's why I had to deal with false ass niggas and false ass bitches playing me for the left, playing me for the right, never being honest with me and things of that nature, because obviously I got knowledge of self. And the reality of life is to get you out of your knowledge of self, period. If you got everything externally, bear witness, you can all raise your hand and testify that's not serving you right now. Because every time I say that, motherfuckers might think that I'm broke. I'm not saying that from a broke perspective. I'm saying that from a person who has managed to manifest money, got savings, got credit, shit like that. And trust me, I'm still trying to feel what it feels like to feel the God within. Fuck the money. Sophia already said that don't even matter. It's all about intrinsic value. And as much as I say it, I got to understand that shit too. I got to bena into this reality. I have to understand, overstand. Fuck what God intellectualizes you to do. What does God feel like? Because motherfuckers say, do you got a soul? Yeah, I got a soul, but I'm pissed off. I'm sad. I hate this nigga. This nigga did this. My mama did that. My daddy did that. Do you got a soul? Yeah, I got a soul. Why you keep asking me a soul? But if you had a soul, what would it feel like to possess a soul? How what you talking about? You did all of this complaining, all of this worrying, all of this wishing, all of this hoping, but you never felt the feeling of the soul energy that rests within you. You really tuned in and tapped into a nigga being your Lord and Jesus Savior. Got to readjust my seat. Anyways, the demiurge proceeds to create in the physical world in which we live, ignorant of Sophia, ignorant of Tiamat. All we care about is Marduk. Marduk is a part of the young gods who said he knows what to do. What must we do? We must put the gods in cities. Why do you want to put the gods in cities? Because the cities will have light pollution. Well, what will light pollution do? It will block them from seeing the stars. Well, why would that matter? Because if they don't get to see the stars, they don't get to tune in and tap into their ancestors. Well, they'll have a magnetic to the night energy. What will we do to distract them or entertain them? We'll get them big booty bitches. Well, what will women like? We'll give her big booty bitches. We're just going to give everybody big booty bitches and they'll just accept it for life? Yeah, trust me. Well, how are we going to get that shit off? We'll call them stars. Yeah, that's genius. You a genius, Marduk. You got, I must say, that's some smart ass shit, bro. That's pretty smart. We gonna call the big booty bitches stars. When I mean big booty bitches, I'm not meaning anybody specific. It's just a intangible reality. Fill in the blank. And if there is no such thing as a big booty bitch, excuse my language. Well, we get into mover genus and we talk about the foot of the barking dog. We'll talk about that anyway. Anyways, we're not even to the astrology part. Human beings are ignorant of the inner spark, ignorant of the divine feminine energy that rests within us, because don't tell me you cognizant of the divine feminine energy, because y'all know me, I'm the fucking mystic. That's what y'all know me as. Everybody else know me as the nigga that you call when you having a bad day or going through a tough time. If it was based upon the goodness and greatness of black people, nobody would ever hit me up. But because black people don't spend the majority of their time in the higher echelons of emotional frequencies and things of that nature, they tune in to people that can help lift them up. Meaning, so I know y'all ignorant of Sophia. I know you ignorant of the divine goddess because it's not an intellectual pursuit. It's not even something that you show a person. It's not even something that you talk about. What is it? It is something that you feel. What are you missing out on? The feeling of it. How are you ignorant? You lack the Binah. You lack the Chokmah. You lack the wisdom and understanding of the divine feminine. Ignorant of Sophia. Ignorant of Tiamat. Who nevertheless manages to infuse some spiritual spark or pneuma into his creation. So he creates human beings because, create Adam. But when Adam, the title of this video, the divine spark, is within all of us. And this is what we must get into. This is what we must understand. And this will be the bulk of the conversation. My last slide in reference to this movie, just kind of tying it back in. The actual conflict of the movie, the internals, is learning that they must defy Ereshim's wishes to stop the birth of Tiamat. Where they get it fucked up at, what you will see in later episodes of the goddamn program, is that Ereshim did a double entendre on them. He put them on that planet because he knew that they were going to be able to stop Tiamat. But they was going to have to stop it on their own will. But ultimately, it's a double, triple entendre because the reality is that they should have let her rise up. And then they should have helped Tiamat defeat Ereshim. And been one with Tiamat. Because the physical universe is what imprisons us and keeps us ignorant of the soul. So if you're alive today, I do not want you to die to access your divine feminine energy. I want you to feel that shit today. Because what happens when you die? You get embraced and nurtured and cared for in your divine feminine energy. And you like, where were you this whole time? I was right here. You just didn't give a fuck about me. You wanted a bubble eye Benz on 20-inch rims. You was worried about your rent. You was worried about that nigga. You was worried about your kids. You did not give a fuck about your soul. That's the plot of the movie. But let's get into some astrology. Motherfuckers be scared and are limitless and immortal. The only way you know you limitless and immortal is if you sit with yourself for long enough and listen. But we'll talk about it. Be patient with me. Before we get into the astrology, let me slide this over to the right. I want to deal with some numbers of the week. Now, as we was talking, somebody just emailed me in the subject line of the email. Just because there's no cap in my rap, y'all always think that I be saying stuff to say stuff. I just want to show y'all the subject line that I just received. Numbers. Good afternoon. I've had the distinct, and that's all y'all get on that one. I'll read that email later. Numbers for the week. Spirit said we gonna give you these numbers. Utilize them as you wish, but you need to start giving out numbers for the week. I was on Lloyd's Numbers and You channel, and feel like he did some altering to my DNA or woke up some DNA towards my affinity for numbers, and I'm just sharing it with y'all. Let me know y'all results. The numbers that pulled up based on the astrology this week are the numbers 3, 13 or 4, 18 or 9, 26, and 8. The sub numbers that we can work with is 11, because you got this 11 right here, but you also got 8 and 3. What is 8 and 3? 11, but you also got 11, which is a double number. You got 11, 11, then you got 33, and then you got 8, and you got 88. So you got 88, 11, and 33. Now, does this mean anything to you? Probably not. Should it mean something to you? Probably so. Are you going to force it to mean something to you? Please don't. Let the shit come to you. Let it make sense to you. I'm just laying out the numbers as they was revealed to me. And every week, I'll give you these 4 numbers, and you could do with them as you wish. If you're going to play the lottery number and you hit, all I'm going to say is my Cash App is Hood Mystic 38. The $ come in the front. Anywho, because I do this shit for real, I got to remind y'all from time to time. It's not a lot going on astrologically. However, the show must go on, baby. I got to come up with something, you feel me? Break down a movie or something like that, you feel me? Anywho, give you some conspiracy theory. Anyways, the waxing crescent moon is in Capricorn, okay? I'm going to show it better than I can tell it, because your sidereal astrologer could and would never. As we can see, kind of faintly, Capricornus, long form for Capricorn. We got the energy of Saturn in the energy of Capricorn. This is very important because I'm attempting to prove a point. And I'm going to also set the vibe for the week as we discuss the other astrological information. Saturn in Capricorn at a sidereal level is just me saying these words. But when we deal with the esoterics and we deal with the metaphysics and we deal with the occult, we get to understand the computation of the astrological formation, my brother. Anyways, I'm just trying to make it a little bit entertaining for y'all. Y'all just don't mind me. Anyways, we here to learn. Saturn in Capricorn, if you computed all of the information with the moon conjuncting, waxing crescent moon, we're talking about big ascension energy, big Capricorn energy. Does that mean you should follow somebody else's goals? Does that mean you should follow somebody else's dreams? If you don't know your actual big Capricorn energy, it's a reason for that. And it's rooted in religion, it's rooted in mythology, it's rooted in experience. To tune into your soul is sacrilegious, it's blasphemous. Because God, Yaldabaoth, is supposedly to live outside of you. You got to pray to it, you got to worship it, you got to sing songs to it, you got to say thank you, Jesus, and praise him and tithe 10%. Because if you don't do that, family, you're not going to have a place to stay, you're not going to have a running vehicle, your clothes is going to be all fucked up, because Jesus is what makes everything right in life. Right? If I was to ever say, you know what, I'm not going to tune in to Jesus and God, I'm going to tune in to my soul, guess what Christians will call me? A devil worshiper. So guess what the tarot card is in Capricorn? You guessed it. You was right. The devil. So the devil, Capricorn. Black magic, misguided devotion, and spiritual awakening. Well, Billy, how do I get all three of those things in one bucket, in one bag? That don't make sense to me, family. Let's deal with it. I want you to tune in and tap into your soul to the point that you stop saying this is impossible and you start saying that I'm possible. Okay? I'm showing you better than I can tell you. Okay? In order to access this big Capricorn energy, see, Saturn is in Capricorn for real, in real life. It ain't in Aquarius. It ain't leaving Capricorn. My nigga, Saturn is in Capricorn. It's at the heart of Capricorn, and it's very serious about its messaging. See, if you say Saturn is in Aquarius, then you get in Saturn and Aquarius observations outside of what you should be doing esoterically, or being aligned to the stars, or tuned in and tapped into your star family. What would be the next step? Tune it in to your higher self. Big Merkaba energy, big higher self energy, big Pleiadian, Arcturian, Sirian star system energy. You should be understanding your star system energy in the darkness, outside, or in the house, whatever you call it, blindfolds on. Fuck this matrix energy. Because the more you worry about the matrix, the more it begins to be a problem that you can't solve on your own, family. Eventually, you're going to pull yourself down so low. Guess what you're going to have to rely on? Yourself. Why won't you rely on yourself now? How do you rely on yourself? You merge with your higher self. It's very important. Now, let's talk this out. The energy of Capricorn would be a sea goat, but the totem of Capricorn is a mountain goat. A mountain goat don't be at the bottom of the mountain. The mountain climb the damn mountain. For richer, for poor, for better, for worse. It's constantly ascending, getting that different type of fruit, that different type of food. And if it's growing, getting that different type of food, what is the message associated with this? When you figure out your soul's purpose for yourself, you able to do things in relation to your soul's purpose. And when you do things in relation to your soul's purpose, you're not confused. You're not wondering. You're not worrying. You're not wishing. You know exactly. So I need you to ask yourself, in the reference of your relationships, in the relations of your career, where are you at right now? Your financial situation. What the fuck are you doing? You need to make some adjustments. You need to do some payables, accounts payables on all levels. You need to be very strict and very another thing. You need to stop hanging with people this week. If I'm tuning into my higher self and I'm telling you this week, attune to your higher self, let shit go for a second. I understand you got kids, you got a marriage, and you got a job. I understand that. I'm not saying get rid of your responsibilities. I'm saying within your mind and your heart, let motherfuckers go. Why am I saying that? So you could be isolated and a loner and a lame like me? No, I don't want you to be a loner and lame, isolated like me. Of course not. Funny story, I was telling my kids, like, oh, you know, your dad got a hard time. This is the second time. Remember last week I was telling y'all how my wife was like, you're not socially awkward. You just say that. I told my kids something this week. I was like, you know, people ain't gonna like you like they like my dad. My son was like, what? He was like, man, everybody like you, Dad. What are you talking about? Every time I'm with somebody, they always talk about how they like my dad. And I was like, oh, my bad. I thought I was 15 years old going through adolescence. I forgot that I was sometimes I forget that I'm a fucking dad. Like, I was telling my wife this too. Like, sometimes when I'm emotional, I'll be a 15-year-old little boy, and that's something that I gotta really work at. I gotta fucking readjust those thought processes. Anyways, how do I readjust those thought processes? We not going to focus in on black magic, because what is that? I remember when I was young, I was trying to get black magic books, and I went to the magic store and I said, hey man, can I get a book on black magic? He said, you black, you do magic, you black magic. I said, I ain't buy nothing from that store. I think I started my goddamn blog after he told me that. I digress. Misguided devotion. It's misguided devotion from a Christian, Judeo-Christian mindset. When you say, look, I'm going to know thyself. I'm going to self-deify. I'm going to align to a waxing crescent moon in Capricorn, conjunct Saturn in Capricorn, because Saturn is exalted in Capricorn, meaning that it's very important that I tune in to the astrologicals of the situation as opposed to the ideologics of the situation, what's going on in the matrix. Mind you, I'm only going to say it, but I'm not going to talk about it, Travis Scott. Soon as some fucking rituals happen, motherfucking conscious people start talking about it. When you are spiritual and you begin to invest energies into these particular rituals, I might share some shit on Instagram, but I'll archive that shit. I'll delete it because I don't need that energy on my feed. It's ritualistic energy, and it's all about who can pay most attention to it. Because what point of it is theater? What point of it is real? Do we have to go back to what we talk about every single week? My man Shakespeare or Robert Bacon or whatever. Robert Bacon, Francis Bacon. Matter of fact, I want some bacon looking ass boy. I don't even know what my guy said. The famous speech in As You Like It, it is the 7 ages of man, which begins. All worlds a stage, and all the men and women merely players. I told you in a past life I was a goddamn Shakespearean actor. Y'all didn't even know it till I just dropped my goddamn Macbeth energy on y'all. Uh-oh. Don't make me do my opera on you. I've been waiting to do. I think I'm gonna start working on my opera mixtape. What is wrong? Anyways, the ruling planet, I'm just saying this, if you never heard Capricorn before, if you never understood energy before, I'm just breaking this down for y'all. Ruling planet of Capricorn is Saturn. When you look up in a goddamn telescope, my sister, my brother, you're going to see Saturn and Capricorn, meaning that it's home. You ever been home? Your mama cooked that meal you need to cook? Or you do that thing that you like to do with your daddy, watch the football game, or maybe your dad cook, whatever the case may be. When you home, you home. When you tapped in, you tapped in. Saturn and Capricorn is tapped in. It's a specific message for y'all over this next year, couple years or so. Tune in to your fucking higher self. And if you got to do that shit alone, do that shit alone. Because at the end of the day, this lifetime matters in reference to your gnosis. A motherfucking human being can pull you under into some bullshit. Guess who don't feel sorry for you? I don't even attract that type of energy no more. Quiet as cat. Anyways, let's tune in to Kyrie the Wolf. Lone Wolf energy. Anyways, Christian Wolf, the accountant. Anubis, Libra, Sun in Libra, Sidereal Astrology, the accountant. What was the profession of the last mass ritual? What was his profession? Do y'all know? Oh, I gotta tell y'all then. Let's talk about it. Las Vegas shooting accountant. Stephen Craig. You ain't got to lie, Craig. Stephen Paddock, born April 19th. Cause of death, suicide by self-inflicted gunshots, cremated, ashes given to brother, occupation, accountant. Okay, why is Stephen Paddock important? Stephen Paddock was an American mass murderer who perpetuated the 2017 Las Vegas shooting. Now, I say that, said I wasn't going to talk about it. 2000 Las Vegas shooting and Astro World. I wonder if there's any type of connection. It's really the same type of shit. Because as you look like down the search, it's like before Astro World Festival, goddamn Las Vegas. Las Vegas. Before Astro World, it was the Las Vegas, but you know, black people didn't care because it was country singers and rock and roll singers. But like the same type of energy has existed where you go to a concert and some weird shit happen. If you ask me to go to a festival, I'm gonna just say no because it's just too many people and people are too stupid. Too many people is too stupid for me. And anyways, but as we was talking about accounting energy, I just found that's weird how the Sun and Libra rituals in reference to that accountant energy, which we'll continue to talk about once we get into the Sun trine Neptune energy. But let's talk about the major transit that's taking place this week, taking place this Wednesday. Mercury conjunct Mars. I'm going to get into some straight mythology. So once again, this is like speedball, super deep astrology at like Usain Bolt speed. You got to be using your air, your thinking caps with this one. So this Wednesday, energy is going to kick up. Mercury conjunct Mars. Mercury, your thoughts and your actions. Your actions have been rather loose based upon Mercury coming out of retrograde. And 10 times out of 10, you didn't take the retrograde seriously because who gives a fuck about astrology, right? Who gives a fuck about the inner world? Who gives a fuck about collecting to our star seed and our star body and things of that nature? This particular energy, well, it's in Vedic Libra, but it's in sidereal Virgo, but it's conjunct the fixed star Raya El Awa. Now, Raya El Awa is specific to the foot of the barking dog, my brother. Every time I talk like that, I just have to end it like that. And it's a pure joke. But anyways, once again, since I'm discussing all of this information, I'm compelled to act silly or else I'm going to just bore myself to death. Anyways, the foot of the barking dog, I'm going to try to explain it to you without confusing you. So in the Vedic chart, Raya El Awa is in Libra, and it's the second decan of Libra in the Vedic chart. Now, the second decan of Libra is ruled by Saturn. For intense purposes, let's just call Saturn the planet of grounding, which ties into the feet, right? This is the feet of the goddess. This is the last aspect of the Virgin. So imagine that this is the feet, and then the rest of the 52 degrees along the ecliptic is the rest of the body. Anyways, the feet are the grounding aspect to the Virgin goddess energy. If you have Mercury and Mars conjunct this, what would be the energy that you should focus on? Mercury being your mind, Mars being your action, conjunct some feet. Now, one would say, I need to focus on my dreams. I need to go get it, that, third. My thing is you need to ground yourself. You need to think and act towards grounding, right? But there's not a lot of energy and intel on this particular fixed star called Raya El Awa or Mu Virginis. So I got to piece it together. I got to say, okay, we're going to use the Libra energy, and we also going to use the Virgo because the second decan of Libra in the chart is ruled by Saturn. The feet of the goddess represents grounding, and okay, boom, boom, bam, bam, bam. So, right. In the Pistis Sophia, now we getting Gnostic. I told you this is Gnostic astrology. When you look up at the stars, you can't just look up at the stars. You got to have a mythology, an etymology, or a story, or something that relates to what you're seeing in the stars, and it has to make sense. So you would have to understand occult, esoterics, Gnostic scriptures back and forth, the Bible back and forth, things of that nature. And Sorry, I'm kind of weird like that. I be into the shit. So anyways, in the Pistis Sophia, Christ is sent from the Godhead in order to bring Sophia back into fullness. So Jesus Christ, Christian Wolf, the accountant, Anubis, Sun and Libra energy, y'all ready? I don't know. Let's prepare. Christ is sent from the Godhead in order to bring Sophia back into fullness, pleroma. Christ enables her again to see the light, bringing her knowledge to the spirit. Christ is then sent to earth, Malkut, in the form of a man, Jesus, to give men the gnosis, my brother, needed to rescue themselves from the physical world, material world, and return to the spiritual world. In Gnosticism, the gospel story, my brother, of Jesus, my brother, is all allegorical. So before y'all say Jesus ain't real and let's throw the Jesus mythology out the window, I dare you tell that to your mama, tell that to your grandma. But see, you gonna talk shit to your grandma, you gonna talk shit to your mama, but you came out of their pussy. They ain't come out of yours. You are like Marduk, like the younger gods who think you know more than your mama. I suggest you need to get down on your knees and pray to Jesus like she doing, because you living in her house. No. Why do I got so many jokes today? I be trying to be serious, my brother, my sister, but I just can't. All right, so Jesus is an allegory, not a real person. It's like Tony Stark. Okay? Used as an introduction to Gnosis. Jesus is the introduction to Gnosis. He arose. He died, but you didn't kill the soul. He transmogrified. He tuned in and tapped into his inner spark, rather than it literally being true in historical context. Because it's a lot of conscious niggas that will get on these platforms and say for 5 hours how Jesus ain't real, Jesus ain't real, Jesus ain't real. You stupid for being in Jesus. But you be on Al Gore's internet. I digress. For the Gnostics, I personally believe Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, and Jesus is the Lamb, and the Lamb is the soul, and I'm being completely allegorical and esoteric and metaphysical. Seem like conscious people forget that. They just look at the surface energies and be like, that's bad. For the Gnostics, the drama of the redemption of Sophia through Christ or the Logos is the central drama of the universe. Meaning that what's happening in the universe is between men being reincarnated down here with the divine spark. And guess what happens? Men don't give a fuck about the divine spark. Y'all do, I do, we do. Let's talk about this conversation with our moms, though. Whole different discussion. Start talking about this with your brother and sister. Whole different discussion. So the Sophia, the goddess, resides in all human beings as the divine spark. This is what I come here to tell y'all. But if you focused on your rent, if you focused on your mama, if you focused on whoever, you're not going to be able to see the divine spark that resides not in him over there, her over there, in all humans. That's what this Mars conjunct Mercury energy is speaking specifically to, being grounded in such truths. So you might look at your material energy as like, damn, it's not where I want it to be. But that's a reason, because if that's all you care about, then it'll get taken away from you. So boom. Carl Jung, somehow he always gets linked into the mix, linked the figure of Sophia to the highest archetype of the anima in depth psychology. The archetypal fall and recovery of Sophia is additionally linked to many different myths and stories. See the damsel in distress. So the fall of Eve and the birth of Christ through the Virgin Mary. So you might be, if you're looking at the historical context, you will be saying, well, Jesus Christ was born from some girl named Mary, when none of that ever happened. The reality of Christ is the reality of Fucus, who is being birthed through the constellation of Virgo. Okay? All right. Now, feel like I gotta explain that more than I can say it. Okay? Goodness gracious. Now the download came to me as clear as day. Hopefully I can show it to y'all better than I could tell it to y'all. Let's just do the sun, man. Y'all gonna be mad at me for saying it like I'm saying it. But, man, I don't know. I need to see an ephemeris. I can show you better than I could tell you. Get rid of this ground. Alright, boom. I don't know if y'all be able to see it. It'd be better if I could show you on my star walk. Let me see, man. Yeah, I can't really show you. I got another astrological. Because you can't see the formations of the constellations. Give me a second. I want to go Planet Watcher. Sky map. Maybe y'all can see that a little better. I think it's better if I let you know. All right. So you have Virgo, the Virgin, Libra, Scorpio, the Womb, and Ophiuchus, Jesus. Jesus being the Son of Christ, being to save Virgo, or to bring about an understanding of the divine goddess. So Jesus is like, you need to do this, you need to do that, and this ain't right, this ain't exact, too much patriarchy, get more into the spiritual. And then obviously they dominate the mythos, like, Jesus, you don't get to the real mysteries of Jesus. Because when they say they killed Jesus, they mean that metaphorically. They killed the mythology of Jesus. They suppressed the goddess within all of the human beings, because what we've understood so far, if you're just now joining us, is simply this. Sophia resides in all humans as the divine spark. So what should your actions and thoughts be focused on as you attempt to ground in this reality? Sophia is Virgo, or the Virgin. This is the connection that I'm trying to make. When you see Virgin or the Virgo, I think you need to understand it cosmologically. Because that way you can understand Gnosticism, where you can understand, okay, Gnosticism must relate to sidereal astrology, and religion must relate to either no astrology at all, or once you tap in and tune in to astrology, making sure that each constellation is not a constellation, it is a sign. Now, if you gave me a sign and said each to get to every city is 30 miles, every sign you looked on, it said 30 miles. So I'm in goddamn Boston, and I see the sign to say I'm going to get to LA, and since every sign say 30 miles, then I'm going to think, okay, it's only going to take me 30 miles to get to LA. Here I have been driving for 3 days. I ain't prepared. I don't got enough gas money, because the sign had me all fucked up. When you talk about signs in astrology, you're talking about fucked up signs. When you talk about constellations, now you got to begin to understand the stars, the mythology, the understanding, because niggas will talk about Jesus all damn day. It's church after church after church. But when you talk about the origin of Jesus, which is found in the stars and the birth of Ophiuchus and the serpent bearer and all of this type of hotness, we can't connect the two. My gift, my skill is that I connect the stars to the earth realm. That's my personal gift that fucking Lord Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, has given me. Mama J. And y'all keep worrying about the meta on y'all Facebook and Instagram. I'm going to keep worrying about the metaphysical meanings of different astrological concepts. So as we can bear witness to, Regia El Awa is the foot of the barking dog. See, Mercury and Mars conjunct Regio El Awe, the foot of the goddess. Same energy. So let's deal with the meta of it, Mark Zuckerberg. What is the metaphysicals of the feats, Mark Zuckerberg? Everything you say, we dealing with the metaphysics of it, because Mark Zuckerberg already told us, you know what we going to do? We ain't going to be Facebook no more. We ain't going to look at things at face value. We going to get down into the meta. Y'all niggas went and got an Oculus. I fucking meditated. Like, meditated? I think that's going to be a shirt. Meditated. Like META, but tated at the end, you feel me? Going within myself, get into the metaphysical meaning of self. Ashe? The metaphysical meaning of fate is this feet and phase sound like fate. Anyways, that phase of our understanding which comes into contact with substance. So you're talking about your higher self coming into contact with substance. It's interesting that the metaphysical meaning of feet to be grounded in the feet of the goddess by just coincidence that it will relate to the denial of materialism is illustrated in the washing of the disciples' feet in John chapter 13. 8 plus 5 is 13. 8 plus 23 is coincidences. Anyways, even Peter's spiritual faith must be cleansed from belief in the reality of material conditions. In the last video I prepared y'all last week, Gnosis is removing life circumstances from your mind. Whatever it is, you live with your mama, cool. You got 2 left feet, cool. You got 6 fingers, cool. You got 11 fingers, cool. You can't walk, cool. You kind of fat, cool. You kind of ugly, cool. Whatever the reality is, who gives a fuck? Because when I talk to people, it's like you can't be honest with a person when your reality is tuned in and tapped into material conditions. Why? Because it's all falling apart. Tiamat is rising. What does Tiamat do? What does Sophia do? She destroys the materiality. So why would you tune in to something that's dying? What is rising? Sophia. What is Sophia? The divine inner spark. Does he have the inner spark and you don't have it? To wash the feet seems a menial thing, but in this humble way, Jesus, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, taught and exemplified, hallelujah, Mama Jaya, taught and exemplified the willingness of divine love, feminine energy, to serve, feminine energy, that man may be redeemed from the pride of the flesh, feminine energy. What is feminine energy? Non-physical energy. If you want to make love to this person, don't matter what she look like. What's the joke about men? They'll fuck a couch. So obviously it ain't about your looks, honey. It's really about our Mars energy that it could actually fuck a couch if provoked. It's a joke, but I'd be like, if that couch looking at me a certain type of way, it might go down. You feel me? Like, that's a joke, but dudes done been there. Some of y'all ladies done humped y'all pillow. Why do we get here? So anyways, as we stated earlier, this is Virgo, but in the Vedic chart, this could be Libra. And the second decan of Libra is ruled by Saturn. Interesting enough, it is representing the separateness from the Godhead when the Godhead is connected to Sophia. So when you look at the makings of Jesus, Yahweh, Yaldabaoth, is taken from the 4 tetragrammaton, these 4 symbols, which represent male, male, female, female. You have sperm, penis, womb, womb. Okay? The tarot card of this particular energy is the 3 of Swords. And the title of that tarot card is Sorrow. Not Sorrow, not George Soros, but sorrow, rather. Sorrow ain't bad if you understand that you're a human being. If you understand sperm, male, female, female, and the ignorance of it. Right? Sorrow is a natural event that most people have to go through at some point. What would justify this? What will bring it into an understanding if you understood the yod or the divine spark in combination with the female energy? So you have the physical sperm, which creates life, but you also have the feminine vessel, which inhabitates that life. And you understand that life, I know y'all fucking love everything about life and y'all love every ideology that y'all absorb, but the reality is that your masculine and feminine energy is what creates life. The sperm and the penis and the womb and the overall maintenance of the womb is basically God shit. I can't make it up. Hebrew is written. See, I'm left-handed. I understand that I'm a Hebrew because I would write from left to right without smudging this part. See, now that I'm American or backwards, I write from right to left and I smudge it as I'm writing it. I'm smudging that shit. See, I'm a natural Hebrew. I write from this way. I can see things from this way. So when I go to school, it's easy to point me out because I can't even fucking read. I gotta sit, write notes, take my time. I ain't like all the other students in class. You know, sending your kid to school is like telling them to put on this glove, but it ain't a glove, it's a sock. But you telling them to wear it like a glove, and then you getting mad at them because they don't fit it like a glove. Anyways, yes, we need to change the world completely. We need to change everything about ourselves. We need to completely wash away this goddamn Eurocentric Roman government mindset and tune in and tap into at least the union of the female and masculine, the material and the non-material, the active and the inactive, the good and the bad. This is the motherfucking metaphysics of God. You feel me? Motherfuckers really do be feeling like they gonna do it on their own. So when you talking to a motherfucker, you ain't even really talking to a motherfucker. When you talk to me, everybody who ever had a conversation with me, I talk to y'all because I know that I can't do this shit alone. I put myself in a position because I knew from a long time ago, how the fuck I'm gonna actually do some shit alone. The trick that God showed me was that, yeah, you might feel this way, but that ain't gonna change nobody else's point of view. People gonna use the fuck out of you and only think about how you can benefit them. The moment that you can't benefit them, Kyrie, they ain't gonna fuck with you no more. You know what that created for me, family? Sorrow. Then I also realized that it's a natural event that most people have to go through at some point. So because we go through our sorrow, some people will treat you like shit. And then they'll blame the reason that they treat you like shit on their past, previous sorrowful event. Not knowing that they creating their own karma. They creating their own cause of effect. Right? So boom. It is only 3 that is ruled by Saturn, and hence the only one with a negative connotation, which will bring us back to the devil and it being blasphemous and it being negative, Capricorn and Saturn just being a negative energy as you tuning into yourself, tuning into your higher self, because that's what everybody, the FBI, CIA, your mama, your daddy, your reverend, your pastor, your priest, don't want you to say one specific thing. I am God, motherfuckers. I am goddess, bitch. Now what? You know what I'm saying? They don't want you to say that. They want you to keep feeling like shit. But you can say I am God. You can say I am goddess. What do we have? What's the next step? Moving in, we preparing ourselves with this Libra energy as it moves into Scorpio. We ain't seen no water sign since Cancer. It's been an ill minute since we tuned in and tapped into emotions. I don't want y'all to be in tune into what pussy and dick feel like. I want you to be in tune into what your fucking soul feels like. That's when you do real alchemy. That's when you do real soul work. Because what's the deeper reality? Do y'all think because y'all doing soul work and tuning into your soul that dick and pussy is going to disappear? Or will dick and pussy still be there after you get finished tuning into your soul? You should not put, especially if y'all ain't married, y'all ain't got no kids, y'all ain't got no responsibilities, and they tuned in and tapped into your hormones like that. You backwards. You trying to fucking deal with this shit all fucking wrong. So, boom. Mercury conjunct Mars comes with opportunities and it comes with challenges, such as working with self-expression. That's funny. What is Jesus? Jesus is the Son of God. Now, what does the sun represent in astrology? Expression. So what would self be? Soul expression. So what is the opportunities of Mercury conjunct Mars? It would be your ability to self-express at a high level. What's the trick? Motherfuckers don't understand this, and it's a one-off deal. You can't be like, I'm a self-express for my mama and my daddy or for my boyfriend or my girlfriend. You gotta say, actually, if my mama and my daddy or my boyfriend and girlfriend don't approve of me expressing myself, they can go to hell. Because actually, this is what this place is turning into, and they can continue to be here. I'm going to ascend. I'm going to tap into big Capricorn energy and gain a greater grace. What is greater grace? Grace is, let's deal with the etymology or the metaphysics of grace. So I think that would be a good understanding for us. Not even etymology. Any word that you want a metaphysical meaning for, type it and then type truth unity. Okay? Truth unity is where I get all of my metaphysical meanings. I've been getting metaphysical meanings from truth unity before Mark Zuckerberg called this company Meta, but I digress. Grace is goodwill, favor, disposition to show mercy, aid from God in the process of regeneration. By grace have ye been saved. Grace and truth come by Jesus Christ, Mama Jaya. Hallelujah. Mama Jaya. That is the real saving, the real redeeming. Transforming power came to man through the work that Jesus did in establishing for a race of new and higher consciousness on the earth. We can enter into this consciousness by faith in him and by means of the inner spirit. Okay? Not by the means of having the biggest ass. Not by the means of having the biggest wallet. Not by the means of having the biggest dick. Not by having the means of having the wettest pussy. By the means of the inner spirit. Y'all listen to too many rap songs at the end of the day. Y'all watch too much TV, too many movies. Grace, by the means of the inner spirit of the law he taught and practiced. Once again, what is Jesus? Allegorical. Hallelujah. Where you find him at? Inner spirit. Hallelujah. Okay? How do you tune into your inner spirit? How do you tap into this big Capricorn energy? Listening. One of the most sincere forms of respect is actually listen to what another has to say. In this aspect, we're going to listen to what our soul has to say. And because of that, please don't be hanging out with people. Please, like, really take a week of fasting from niggas and bullshit. Especially if they not on the spiritual shit. If you have somebody that sincerely is on the path and are sincerely doing the work and they don't want to fuck you, cool. But 10 times out of 10, guess what fuck energy allows a person to do? Cap, lie, act like they like you, don't really like you, but they getting benefited from the situation. As men, as women, if you benefiting a person and you know you benefiting a person, 10 times out of 10, they playing you to the left. Why? Because you benefiting them. Duh, you giving them some pussy, you giving them some money, you giving them something. And what are they giving you? Nothing. Why is this a problem? Because the sun is in Libra and it's time to deal with Anubis's ass, the accountant. And the thing about an accountant, and they look at your books and they see the shit ain't off, you can't say, well, he looked good. He reminded me of Chris Brown. I had him in my phone as Chris Brown. Why you got that man in your phone as Chris Brown and it ain't Chris Brown? He looked like Chris Brown. So you fucking this dude because he looked like Chris Brown? That's how you gonna ride for your ancestors in 2021 and all this shit going down? You giving pussy to niggas who look like niggas? You ain't even giving it to the nigga that's actually the nigga? Woo! Guess what, guys? We're moving on. So we got this big Mercury conjunct Mars energy. The same day these planets go conjunct, they square. Big cap energy. So what we doubling down on, fam? We doubling down on the same energy we've been talking about. But let's, instead of talking about it, let's look at it from a different perspective. Because as we all know, or we don't know, what is the tarot card that rules the second decan of Capricorn? We're going to imagine that the Astrologics is positioned the second decan, the first decan being the cusp of Capricorn. But as you work your way into Capricorn, we can settle into the second decan of Capricorn. And guess what card rules that decan? Goddamn Three of Discs. I want y'all to really look at this right here, because we about to get into some shit right now. The Sun and Libra energy, boy, you better be prepared. Because when shit happen and y'all get all emotional and shit, guess who's going to be laughing? Me? Why? Because I told you. You was fucking with people when you should have been fucking with your higher self. I told you. Now, this is an architect. And they outside, and this is a woman and a man. Now, would it serve us to figure out where exactly in Rome was this picture inspired by? Let's go to the church and figure out what exactly is the setting of this picture, or understand that this is a tarot card. So we got to imply that it's talking about ourselves. So you have your masculine energy and your feminine energy tuning into your higher self, your architect. How is that your higher self? Because he's on a literal pedestal. Higher than where these people is at. But we all know that the Three of Discs is in Capricorn. And even more saucier and spicier, the energy, the planet that rules the second decan of Libra is Mars. So we talking about square energy. People, like, I was watching these people do readings, and it, like, when you first get into like spirituality, you always trying to uplift people. And so I just was watching this new person like do cards. Sometimes I'd be watching people do readings for some reason. And every time she would pull a card, she was just trying to motivate people and shit. And I'm like, damn, ain't nobody getting no reading for real trying to get motivated. Because if I'm motivated, I'm motivated. The fuck I need a reading for if shit going right for me? And it ain't to say that you got to read everybody for filth, but you can't imagine that a person would even ask you a question if they got their shit together. Think about yourself. When you riding high, do you be like, well, let me call my psychic. Let me make sure that this shit is real. 10 times out of 10, you with a dirty, dusty ass nigga and you didn't get your psychic together so they could read you for your filth. What am I talking about? I don't know. Anyways, the second decan of Capricorn, ruled by Mars, and we got a Mars square Saturn. Saturn in Capricorn. Mars is actually exalted in Capricorn, so we got heavy exalted energy because Saturn is exalted. Flip side, in that last energy of Virgo, second decan of Libra, depending on how you want to look at it. As long as you ain't looking at it from a Western lens, you feel me? Anyways, I want to bring this up because Mars is constructive in this particular energy where we have to be specific about things that are constructive, things that will build us up, things that will make our lives better. It's very important. And only you can decide that. And I'm going to give you some suggestions because 10 times out of 10, you might not even realize that you're being destructive based upon the type of brain that you're tuning into. So Mercury conjunct Mars, square Saturn, for a lot of people is going to be, I don't tune into myself. All I care about is materialism, so I'm sad. My money ain't coming in like the way it is just coming in. I don't know what to do. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I'm scared. I'm fearful. Something bad about to happen. And that's where they invest their time in. That's where they invest their focus in. I got a video on the Mystery School called, not even a video, but a book and an audio book talking about how money comes easy. And in that actual audio book, they be talking about how people spend 16 hours of their day worrying about shit. Like, you really invested time in worrying. And that's the work that you do. So if Mercury conjunct Mars, your action is going to be towards worrying. You're going to put your psychic ancestral energy into worrying about shit when you could be using that same energy, same time for solutions. But how do you get to solutions? You either got a learning brain or a survival brain. This will be a point where you could pause the video, screenshot it, take some notes and reference into, are you open to new information or you got cognitive dissonance? Are you comfortable with certainty or you need a man that's going to be secure? If I said anything besides the Three of Pentacles, if I said Three of Dis, Three of Pentacles, Three of Earth, that's what I mean. Three of Capricorn, okay? A learning brain is very inquisitive, very working towards something, and there's no games in a learning brain. Humility, understanding, mythology, cosmology, researching, scientists. That's what we down here, to know self. It's very simple. Because the reality is you could go live on a beach in fucking Florida for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? You could just live as a nomad. But, you know, how many people are really in survival mode versus how many people are really trying to learn more? This is something that really needs to be sit down and really understood, because as this week kicks off, I don't know what these motherfuckers got planned, but they about to come with plan after plan after plan after plan, and it's going to be fucking crazy. Feels calm, peaceful, playful, excited about learning. That's more of feeling what the soul feels like. Curious, not afraid of making mistakes. The learning brain versus the survival brain. This is where the square really stands out. For a lot of people, man, they really in survival mode. And I don't know why. I mean, I know why, but I don't know how to stop them from being in survival mode. People who have way more than me, way much more knowledge, way more skills, way more everything than me. So why the fuck should I worry about them? Because of their brain, how their brain is set up. It's very important for me to learn and get to a certain point where I can take care of myself, take care of my family, and it does not come from me being an emotional 15-year-old little boy crying because things ain't going my way. The reason why things haven't gone my way is because I don't know shit. How am I going to get over this hump, family? I'm going to have to learn some shit. You might can do it another way. You might can do it another way. Learning brain, the executive brain. What can I learn today? How can I make my business better? Boom. Got the scales just for good measure. Now you got your reptilian brain, your limbic system, where you asking question, does he love me? Does this person make me safe? When you ask these types of questions, I was telling my son this on the ride because he liked to ask questions, and there's nothing wrong with questions, but sometimes people want to have conversations. If you want to have conversations, you should just come out and have conversations. A good conversationalist tact is not to give an interview. You should have a sincere interest in what you're about to say and what you're about to project. But when you are tuned in and tapped into your limbic system, all you got is questions. And these are outside of your feeling, outside of any type of positive emotions. And you might look on the outside like you got it together, but on the inside, since you're not learning, since you haven't learned since college, since you haven't learned since high school, since all you've been doing is looking good out here in these streets, you're not going to understand this square. And I don't know how crazy it's going to look this week because I don't wish bad, but I do understand energy. And I understand what has happened with Kanye West, Travis Scott, and all of these shits is rituals, new moon rituals that will continue to grow like the moon. The moon is waxing into a full moon. So if they incite and incept crazy energy, then you could expect it will increase moving up to the full moon and then begin to regress every day after. So Sun trine Neptune, my second to last aspect, which will connect with the Three of Discs. Because the card is specifically to an architect talking to some people who want to buy this specific building. This is the architect. So Sun trine Neptune is big Anubis energy, big Libra energy, because the sun will be in the heart of Libra, in the heart of the scales. So very, very easily, you have to develop an understanding of life, and this is what balances the scales. It's like you walk into a store and say, how much does this cost? Or I'm inquiring about the price of this item versus whatever the price is, whatever it is, I'm going to just get it. And that's how we are in relationships. That's how we are in life. We want to have the biggest job. We want to have the sexiest relationship, but we don't want to put in the work to have that thing. And because we don't want to put in the work, when the sun gets Libra, you start feeling like, do I deserve this? Well, no, you didn't deserve it. You stole it. Libra, Scorpio is very manipulative. It's like stealing, universally, cosmically. Men do it, women do it, people do it. You've been in relationships where you felt like, damn, this person don't deserve me, and you was right. You didn't talk about nothing. Y'all didn't discuss nothing. That person wasn't honest with them. You wasn't honest with them. They wasn't honest with you. And y'all still was fucking though. So y'all trying to make it work. Now, I'm saying all of this to say, since it's a trine Neptune, I hope that you can really stand in your relationships outside of them unbalancing the scales. Because then you got a positive opportunity with Neptune trining, entering into the Pisces energy. Cuspal energy, where Neptune and Pisces, I could translate it as in being lazy, but I also translate it to being in tune. So when you're in tune, like if I know myself, it's going to be easier to manifest. But say, for instance, if I'm still in everything, and then it comes an opportunity for me and I got to run my name through some paperwork and stuff. And I'm like, well, damn, I need somebody else's name. Need another bank account. Hey, can I put this in your name type energy? That's Neptune and Pisces. Especially trine Sun, where it's like, okay, you got access to something, but are your balances right? And since it's Neptune, your personal spiritual development is very much tied in what you've given to people over these past 7 years. And I'm sure a lot of y'all done gave people headaches and heartaches and shit like that. These are things that you're going to have to really deal with. I mean, we could deal with the ideologies and shit, but ain't nobody living long term off of ideologies. People living long term off of keeping their foot in the grain, keeping it real, doing the checks and balances, doing the accounting, tuning into the Nubian energy. So let's talk about it. What is the spiritual meaning of accounting? Accounting is an art of recording, classifying, summarizing transactions in a systematic manner, and in terms of money, transactions and events which are in part at least of financial character, and interpreting the results thereof. So before I say that you can have this pussy, before I say we can fuck, we must go through an Anubian balancing of the scales. See, your spiritual leader ain't gonna tell you this, because 10 times out of 10, your spiritual leader is suffering from this because they feel like spiritually they can go into the bank, go into the store, do a ritual, and take. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Just by the nature of being spiritual. No spiritual person that I've met is willing to do research because they spiritual. They don't feel like they need to. They giving you excuses and loopholes and things of that nature. But long term, dealing with a spiritual motherfucker, you fucked up long term. Right? Because motherfuckers want to deal with the results before. The results thereof. So you don't get a result until you fucking do all of the balancing. It's hella balancing in 2021. So don't be mad. I just want to bring this up because this was on my heart. This might help somebody. So I'm going to share. Because this is another thing why people shouldn't be in the space of lust for result. From a Libra aspect, and if this conversation is like way over your head, listen to it more than once. I don't know. Watch some other videos. I don't know. The reason of the scales being there is to figure some shit out. You say you got 2 pounds of gold. Let's throw it on the scale. Let's see if this shit weighs out. You don't do a ritual. You don't get the thing until it weighs out. Thus, it serves you to get into a inner spiritual space to figure out what you are willing to pay or how much you even got. Then you can say, okay, I can get this amount of bread. I can get this amount of love. Whatever it is, because if you can only afford one loaf or you can only afford one dusty nigga, you can't be sad about it because that's what you could afford. There's women right now getting balling ass niggas every single day. So it ain't the men. It's something to do in reference to the results thereof. Don't ask me, ask Anubis. Why I ain't got a man? Well, why you ain't put in the work to get one? Too deep. Y'all mad at me now. Sorry. Anubis is the Egyptian god of the dead and son to Osiris. When God first left heaven, this is from the show Supernatural, by the way. When God first left heaven, the angels needed a new judge to ensure souls go to their proper destination upon death, and enlisted Anubis over his father, describing himself as more of an accountant. Anubis employs an abacus, which tallies up a person's choices in life. Dusty, dusty, crusty, crusty, rusty, rusty, ho, ho, thought, thought, slut, slut. It all adds up, family. It adds up. Tender, tender, plenty of fish. Okay, Cupid, plenty of fish. Tender, tender, thought, thought, ho, ho. Person's choices in life at the precise moment of their death. It's these choices that ultimately dictate where a human soul goes upon death, and not something Anubis can change, not even God himself. That's the power of accounting, and that's what spiritual motherfuckers don't understand. All you gotta do is be a stand-up nigga. I don't worry about too much of anything. It might seem like I'm cold or heartless, but me and Anubis is straight. I give good energy every single day. I make the choice to provide positive energy. I put this whole presentation so that maybe one person can sit and watch this presentation and have positive energy circulating through their being. And I ain't just flim you or scam you into some shit. I'm saying, no, you could check my fucking records, my guy. Call Anubis right now. Anubis be like, oh no, that's hood, he good. He good. Looking ass boy. Get out of here, Anubis. One of the roles of Anubis was the guardian of the scales, or Libra. Once again, Libra in Latin means, what do you know, Batman? Make sure y'all can see it. Libra means scale. Who'da knew? One of the roles of Anubis as the guardian of Libra, period. The critical scene depicting the weighing of the heart, your emotions, your right and exactitude, shows your grounding, your reality, where the spirit meets the substance. You can't be all spirit. Yeah, you divine, but you stole $20 out my goddamn purse last week, nigga. Yeah, you a god, but we gonna have to square up over that $20. See, you divine, but you haven't met with the substance yet. You haven't integrated with the substance, meaning that you intellectualize it, but you don't feel it. It's not a priority to you. You don't value it. You value your worry. You value your fear. Thus, Anubis comes and kicks your ass. Sorry, I'm not Anubis. I'm just reading some shit off Google. Performing a measurement that determined whether the person was worthy of entering the realm of the dead. By weighing the heart of a deceased person against Mayat, or truth, who was often represented as an ostrich feather, Anubis dictated the fate of souls heavier than a feather would be devoured by Emmet, and the souls lighter than a feather would ascend. Okay. Big Capricorn energy to a heavenly existence. Do you need to die to tune into this? No. The reality is that these mythologies are to be known as we live, or else we would be told all of this. It's going to be all types of shit that's told to us in the afterlife that's not given to us now. Obviously, the shit that's given to us now is shit that we could begin to work with. So once again, if your soul is heavier than a feather, then you need more work to do. You need to ascend to a heavenly existence, i.e., get in tune with this big architect energy, which would result into awakening your inner blueprint. Don't get on here on my live. Don't get on Al Gore's internet and act like you don't have an inner blueprint to act out. Mercury, Mars, thinking, acting. But first in tuning, grounding, Regio Al Awa, Mu Virginis, the feet of the goddess, grounding, where the spirit meets the substance. If it was for you to be Hotep and motherfuckers congratulate you, then you would not feel. You would be congratulated in this. When shit hits me like a ton of bricks, what do I realize? I have more learning, more work to do. But when I tune into my learning, when I tune into my work, when I awaken my inner blueprint, when I follow my inner blueprint, everything works out for me. And I'm only sharing that because I only say that this inner blueprint is something that you have. And the whole reason that I'm here, whole reason that I cracked open this live is so you could follow that. And you can know that it's real. So you can stop worrying, so you can stop stressing, so you can stop crying, so you can stop missing, so you can stop wishing and hoping and all of the negative energies that you are wasting your time with, because within you is the divine. You don't feel it, therefore you don't value it. You articulate it with a whole bunch of conscious niggas who are suffering from the same thing that you are suffering from, not knowing the divine spark within you. Mercury and Mars present that divine spark this Wednesday. You have to understand it as an inner blueprint. So Mars being the planet of action means that you should act specifically on your blueprint. Now, another person might assist you or give you the play, but you're going to have a responsibility in the outcome. And I trust and promise and believe and know and understand and have the wisdom and discernment to know that the most important thing for us to do in this three-dimensional plane is tune to our higher self. When they reference ascension, when they reference the 10th house, is not specifically a career, because y'all got careers that are not tuned into your higher self. So it's not to say that tuning into your higher self is going to leave you broken and destitute or homeless. It's the quite opposite of that. Mercury is still the market. Mercury is still the planet of commerce and things of that nature. So it's going to bring the bag in. Just in case you are worrying. But your bag is coming specifically from your inner blueprint. Do you tune into that? Do you recognize it? Do you understand it within yourself? Or do you give a fuck so much about Travis Scott and Kanye West and all of these rituals? When they do heavy rituals, it's because the awakening inside of you, they're trying to distract you from it. They always say, what are they distracting us from? They're distracting us from ourselves, these devices. I put my content out so hopefully you can put your phone down and just chill or do other things. You can paint a whole fucking masterpiece while listening to this goddamn broadcast. Your notebook is plush and lush if you tuned in and tapped into this information. Because now you got the gas, you feel me? Mercury conjunct Mars opposed Uranus. And we've talked about the 3 of Swords, the 3 of Pentacles, the 3 of Discs. Now we talk about the 3 of Wands. So just kind of showing, we are discussing Mercury-Mars energy taking place this week. During this weekend, it will oppose this Aries energy in the fire sign of Aries. What does this mean? Since it's the heart of Aries, this will be the area of the first decan from Hamel to the Sheraton Hotel. Once it passed Hamel, you would move it into the second decan. The second decan is ruled by, guess what, guys? The 3. So we got the 3-3. So when we said our numbers of the week, one of those numbers of the week was 3. So pay attention to your 3s. Stay on your 3s, okay? Anyways, virtue. Virtue is about excellence ethically and personally. You can't be excellent in your business, but be a fucking deviant personally. Some people want to be the best professionally, but then personally, you goddamn popping pills and shit. But you want to be successful. Maybe if you be successful, you'll stop your habit. Some of y'all got dirty dick niggas drudging you out, but you got higher self goals and things of that nature. So what if you get that career and you walking down the red carpet? You bringing Jermaine's ass with you? What is his baby mom going to say? Right? You know he got a baby mom too. But the sex is so good that when things happen for you, you're going to have to make real big changes about who you fucking. It's like Beyonce or some shit, which I'm sure did happen to Beyonce with her first boyfriend, where she got to do damage control with that nigga. Give him a severance pay so he can just shut the fuck up type energy. You don't need that type of stress in your life. Anyways, it's about developing and maintaining high standards of behavior. So $40 hoe energy will not get you through the Nubian straits. And this is for men and women, because niggas will drop their drawers for a couch in 2021. That couch guy got a BBL. Now you want to fuck the couch, dude. Chill. And then learning to have confidence. So first of all, your virtue and your confidence is in, like, who you fooling, me or yourself? Well, I'm just not feeling right about, well, what the fuck are you doing? You learning? No, I'm actually in survival mode and worried about my problems, worried about my bills and worried about shit. And I'm trying to figure out how am I going to get out of it? Stop worrying. Stop giving a fuck. and start living in the way for which you see yourself as. Go the extra mile. Market yourself. Get a haircut. Invest in your clothes. I don't fucking know. Take it one step at a time. Fill out a fucking resume. Start selling your ass. I always say, start a goddamn Pornhub. That might be your fucking calling out here in these streets. Anyways, confidence, self-belief, and strength of character to live out those standards through our every act. But if you do have a Pornhub account, by the sake of virtue, you gotta let us know, because not because we're gonna watch your Pornhub account, but because we're not living in repression and suppression. If you got a Pornhub account and you want to develop a relationship with a man, you like, I really like this man. I can see myself marrying him, but I don't want to tell him about my Pornhub account. What is that? That's repression and suppression. Now, Pornhub account and OnlyFans account is the same thing as what y'all doing with them dudes from Tinder. Just no cameras. But once again, integrity is not whether a camera's there or a camera ain't there. You should be cool with FBI and CIA surveillance. Because a lot of people then got took over because the CIA and the FBI is watching you. Everything that you do. Anyways, repression and suppression leads to defense mechanisms, which is going to be this Mercury opposed Uranus energy. How do you actually get out of it? Integrity, honesty, living in your truth. What does that consist of? Getting rid of the repressed and suppressed emotions through dieting, fasting, and journaling. Please don't call your daddy this week and start telling him all the shit that he did that didn't sit right with you, as if that is his problem when you holding those hot coals. If you want to get it off your chest, then get it off your chest and journal. Stop trying to fucking lash out on people and try to hurt people because you hurt. What is the saying? Hurt people, hurt people. So rising up out of that hurt energy is rising up out of your repression and suppression, because Uranus, the great awakener of your passion. For a lot of people, there's a lot of repressed and suppressed fake smiles, lies, manipulation. And now that Sun is conjunct Leo, what will save you is to be honest. What will hurt you is to act like Anubis and the mythology don't exist and you can keep cutting corners. Because 10 times out of 10, if you say you like a person, they'll be like, shit, I like you too. I was just waiting for you to say the shit, and whatever the case may be. I'm in love with you and all that type of shit, bitch. I'm in love with you too. Like, what we doing? Why we playing? Let's figure it out. Let's have a book study. And now you all happy and shit because you got somebody, your divine masculine, out here learning with you and helping you out, but you didn't even say what you wanted to say because you repressed it, you suppressed it, you ain't know what he was going to say to you. Is you 15 or 35? Some of y'all 55. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. You better start talking to people. Unwanted impulses or thoughts being unconsciously pushed out of awareness. Read the article too. Deliberately trying to forget or not want to think about painful or wanted things. Y'all doing all of this work in y'all relationships, at y'all job, in y'all daily life of repression and suppression, but then have the desire to project. How you going to project, repress? This just seemed like a lot of work to me. And then when I call you on it or somebody call you on it, guess what happened? Defense mechanisms. So in reference to the defense mechanisms, you got narcissistic tendencies, immaturity, anxiety, and sometimes overmaturity. Sometimes you know everything. Know everything, but also anxious. Know everything, but also playing goddamn Candy Crush every fucking time you get a free moment. Know everything, but so in tune on how you look that you're willing to invest 10,000 in your ass, but not 10,000 in your business. 10,000 in your fucking student debt. You pay off your student debt, it boosts your credit score up from a 640 to a 740. Now you can own a house, but you don't own a house, you're going to still be in that apartment with a fat old ass. Anyways, that was my presentation. I just want to thank our sponsors, hoodmystic.com and the Columbian Exchange Group, brought to you by Womb, the guided journal for women that is bringing about the highest levels of manifestation. Wombs helps you journal in 28-day cycles from menstruation to ovulation and back to menstruation again. You could utilize and understand your hormones, your cycle, and how to tap into your personal manifestation schedule. You can purchase Wombs specifically from Columbian Exchange. Can't get it nowhere else. And with that being said, that has been my weekly astro report for November 8th, 2021. Very important to access your higher self. And another saying for that would be tune in and tap into your divine spark. Another aspect of that is to tune in and tap into your divine feminine energy. What the guys need to understand is that you have access to divine feminine energy, just like the ladies do. It is not based upon gender. It is based upon non-materialistic energy, non-physical energy, vibes, vibrations, understandings of the electromagnetic sphere. But this is all feminine energy. The rivers, the mountains, the earth were created with the blood of Tiamat, but the vibrations and the frequency still remain up for grabs. So we are extremely grateful that we are tuned in and tapped in as we are, and we're able to take this divine energy further. We know for a fact that we're not hanging out with a whole bunch of people this week. We know for a fact that we're listening to our inner self, and even if the pastor come knocking on our door, you could tell his ass to come kiss our ass. And ladies, please don't be doing that to the pastor. Y'all know what I'm talking about too, and the pastor eating y'all out and shit like that. He trying to, do his prayer walk. Anyways, man, I digress. Y'all can get these hats too, these eye hats at Columbian Exchange, these cash hoodies at Columbian Exchange, because, a young nigga just trying to feed his family and stuff like that. You feel me? But anyways, man, y'all have a wonderful day, month, evening, week. I'll see y'all next week with another astro report. And, this has been a classic. I'll see y'all later. Peace.